believe in?
What do I believe in? Um, Nothing. I'm an atheist. Um, I believe that anyone who claims to understand the creation is a liar. Hence, all religious people are liars. That's
So
what
you reject the Bible and scripture and stuff, right?
I mean, not even necessarily. The Bible, I mean, if you read the Bible, I don't. What does the Bible say about creation? I mean,
I think it was Genesis 1 when God said, he created the earth and he said, "Let there be light," and there was light, whatever. And
yeah.
in the Quran it says he created the earth in like what 6 days,
Hmm.
and the Big Bang happened, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even necessarily claiming to talk about the creation. I mean, it's not. It's not.
No, he said no. It said
Mhm.
in the Quran, God says he created Adam from clay.
Right, right. So nobody claims that there was nothing and then there was something. So it doesn't really matter what the scriptures say. Like some of the scriptures are like I would say a lot of the scripture is just an ancient legal system or just a legal system, not even ancient. It's a formidable legal system that I appreciate. The mythology, some of it, is very emotionally charged stories that when you read them even without believing them, like it's amazing stories. But as far as
Okay,
as
go
far
ahead.
yeah, as far as the creation of the universe is concerned, regardless of the scripture, if you claim to understand the beginning of everything, then you're a liar. It's impossible to understand the beginning of everything. It's ununderstandable, unfathomable, unknowable.
Even with science and physics, like you
Yeah,
don't understand it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It has to do with just, our capacity to imagine. We cannot imagine how everything can begin. We cannot. I cannot.
But don't you think religion helps with us understanding the beginning and how we came here?
I mean, no, it's impossible. No, the religions don't admit the truth that the beginning is unknowable, that the religions don't admit this simple truth.
Well, that
They
depends.
No, but we do know it because scripture tells us how Earth came to be and how humans came here.
Earth, we know how Earth came to be. Earth, we see Earths forming all over the universe. We have nice, very nice example.
We don't see them forming,
I mean, we
but
see.
it just depends on what you accept. Because if I accept God and God exists outside of the universe, then God can explain to me how He made the.
So if you claim to believe, so is your God scientific? Is your definition of God scientific?
No, I think God made science.
Okay, so if your definition of God is unscientific, then as far as I'm concerned, that's a lie. When you say something is unscientific,
Unscientific is not equivalent to lying.
to me it is. If you tell me that,
Well, then you're committing the equivocation fallacy when you say one word is equivalent to another.
look, unscientific, I mean, uh, okay, so what do you mean? Why do
You
you think?
realize
Mhm.
truth exists above science. Like science is a method of determining the truth. The truth exists regardless of science.
I mean, that these are just definitions. You could say that, by definition, science is that leads to truth. That would be like an axiomatic statement.
Science is one of many methods. Science is like what we would call the best method for physical things.
No.
But science doesn't tell me about words or thoughts or emotions
Yes, it does.
because these are non tangible, non physical things.
Yes, they are. And whatever you claim is
You can
untangible
have an emotion, like you can
emotions.
hold one in your hand.
I mean, there's many things I cannot hold the sky in my hand, but we know that, the sky, we can observe it. There's different ways to observe a scientific phenomenon other than to hold in my hand.
Yeah, but skies are physical. They're made of atoms.
Right, but you agree that
Words are not made of atoms. Words are metaphysical objects.
no, they're not. Words are physical. Words, you can hear
Yeah,
words.
what atoms are words made out of?
Excuse me?
What atoms are words made out of?
I'm not saying that words
Like
necess-
gold, iron,
I'm not.
carbon.
Yeah, I just, if you
If
interrupt
they're
me.
not made of those, if they're not made of one of the elements, then they're not physical.
Well, if you interrupt me mid sentence, then it's going to be, difficult for me to express myself.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Go ahead.
Look, so as I said, like, you cannot hold the sky in your hand, and words are not made words are not necessarily made out of atoms. Words are still an observable scientific phenomenon, right? You can observe words in a dictionary. You can observe words in sound waves when I speak to you. There's ways to observe, scientifically observe words. All
Yeah,
I'm
you can observe the effects the words have, but you're
Whatever.
not observing the words
You
themselves without your ears.
that's you could claim that that's always true, right? You can never see an electron. You can only see the effects, right, of the right or whatever measurement you do with the electron, right?
You can see the electron
There's no way to see the
with an
electron.
electron microscope.
Right, but in order to
Can.
see, right, but in order to see, at the end of the day, anyway, you cannot see an electron. You cannot see an electron.
Like
You
with
c-
my naked eye, no.
you cannot see it in any way. There's no way to see. You
I
can
can
run.
show you a picture of an electron, bro.
Yeah, but you cannot. Sure, but you cannot see an electron, right? There's no way to see it. When you could fire a
Are
photon.
there? Called
Hold on.
zooming in.
No, no, no.
Do you know how zooming in works?
Well, you keep interrupting me. Again, it's going to be very difficult to have a conversation. I never interrupt you. I always let you finish, and you keep interrupting me. So, you, you know. Anyway, so in order to observe an electron, for example, you need to fire a photon at it and hope that the photon will bounce back. And then you can do something with the photon. I mean, these are, you but you're not observing the electron directly. You can observe the electron indirectly, with all sorts of tests and experiments, but it's always indirect. Everything we observe at the end of the day, it's always indirect. So, but the question is,
Yeah, that's why I said without the naked eye we can't see them,
it doesn't
or
matter.
with the naked eye.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, I can observe a scientific phenomenon known as words, emotions, whatever you want. But I'm asking you, and right, I can, whatever natural phenomenon you present to me, we can come up with a protocol, with an essay, with a way to test that phenomenon. Now, I'm asking you, can you come up with an experiment to verify God? That's all I'm asking in order to make God scientific. If the answer
Yeah,
is,
I don't put God in a test tube. No.
I'm not saying necessarily test tube, I'm saying, can you come up with any experiment to verify the existence of God? I'm open, completely open. You tell me, we can run experiments. Tell me, how can we detect and verify God's existence? I don't have a position. But if you tell me God
God
is,
is existence.
look, if you tell me God is unscientific, it's undetectable, then I say, therefore, your claim that there is a God is a lie. You are lying. You claim to have no
Does
evidence.
existence exist?
What?
Does existence exist?
I don't know what that even means.
Do you believe there is existence?
Look, it's like this, Mr. Slave. This is what he's saying.
I don't
It's
know.
like this, right? Because there's existence, right? Like, do you exist? Do you exist?
I
Are
mean,
you real?
I don't. I mean, these are different. I mean, these are different questions. I mean, but in general,
No, no, not. But it's pertinent to theology though. Like I mean, in a lot of theological circles, that's a pertinent question because a lot of theology, especially classical theism, they look at God as a necessary existence. That's why he's asking that question because if you exist, that means you first have to say there's such thing as existence.
I mean, I mean, this goes to definition of words. So yeah, I
But that's
mean,
what he was talking about because he was talking about the metaphysical. Yeah, because words are metaphysical. Yeah, you're right. It's called matter of fact in theology we usually call it the word or logos or logic. Yeah, it is metaphysical. Yeah, but that's what Benjamin was trying to allude to the
I,
metaphysics of words. Yes.
okay, I don't know what metaphysics
Yeah,
is.
but now he wants to talk about God.
I
No, okay. Well, okay. I'm gonna walk you through it. I'll cut you if y'all don't if y'all humbly accept my humble contribution. I'll see if I can try to walk you through a little bit of it.
I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know.
So
I don't know what that means to walk me through. We're having a debate,
I mean,
so you walk me.
you have a debate.
He's gonna give you a
I don't want to debate. I was gonna have discuss it with you, but if y'all two
No.
want to debate, that's fine. Oh, okay. I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet if y'all want to debate. I'm sorry because I was actually wanted to discuss it, but if y'all want to debate, that's fine.
What's the difference between debate and discussion? I didn't know there's a difference. What's the difference?
well. A discussion doesn't have to be a disagreement, but a debate is necessarily a disagreement.
Okay, so
But yeah,
fine.
this a dialogue is when you have people disagreeing and you can have multiple people talk. There's no like rules for anything.
Okay, I mean, I don't care. I mean, you can interject. Anyone can say whatever they want as long as it's constructive and peaceful. So my proposition would be that if you claim that there is a God that is unscientific, then you are lying. I don't know how else to put it.
No, because God transcends science. Also, what you just said
Wait, no,
doesn't
also.
make any sense.
Wait, you can't say also.
Scientific
Wait,
or unscientific doesn't mean
wait,
lying.
wait, you can't say
Those are
oh.
not
Wait,
synonyms.
you can't say also. That's too much.
My
Wait, just say
my love for my mother is not scientific,
yes it
my
is.
friend.
Yes it is. We
No,
that
it's not.
Of course it is. Of course it is. It's measurable.
Okay,
We can
science
mm,
can prove that I love my mother.
yes. I mean, we can study it and we can analyze it, come up with
Can
a way.
study and analyze.
Not only are you
Does that make you feel?
okay, not only are you interrupting me, but also your audio keeps breaking, so I don't even know what you're saying. So,
You said we can study and analyze it. Does that prove something exists?
what do you, I mean, of course. How else would you prove something exists?
Okay, then I can study and analyze God
Good. Tell
So
me
then
how.
God exists by your logic.
I mean,
That proves he exists.
I mean, you can study, but fine. Tell me how would you? I asked you how would you study God scientifically? You said God transcends science. So I told you, therefore, you are lying. So now you want to
No, you didn't
retract?
say how
Hmm.
can I study God. You said what is an experiment we can
Yeah,
do, or
yeah,
is
and
God scientific?
you said God is
Those are
unscientific.
not the same as studying.
Look, tell me how to study God
Yeah.
scientific. Tell me how to study God scientifically. I'm listening. How to detect?
Okay, well,
Mhm.
why does it have to be scientific?
I don't know how else to study things. I'm sorry.
Well, how do you study history?
Scientifically, I look at evidence. I come up
Well,
with
then you're making a category error
okay.
if
and
you do that.
I don't know what that
You
means.
don't use you don't use science to study history. You use history to study history.
Okay, you don't tell
You
me
study
what to do. I do. I'm a
historical.
free. I'm I'm a free. I'm a free person. I do whatever I want. You do what you want. I study history scientifically. You want to study?
Well, yeah, you can make a category error if you want.
I don't know
That's
what
up to
that
you.
means. I don't know what that means.
Means you're
Mr.
trying to
Slave.
one
Oh my
category to
god.
prove another.
What? Wait.
Mr. Slave, what time is it for you right now?
It's 9 p.m.
9 p.m. If you didn't have breakfast this morning, would you be hungry right now?
What?
If you didn't have breakfast this morning, would you be hungry right now?
If I didn't have breakfast, the way I run my life is I just eat when I'm hungry. I don't know, like.
Right. You're a fucking
No
retard. So
way.
this is called it's a cognitive test.
Hmm.
I just asked you a hypothetical. Not once, twice. If you didn't have breakfast this morning, would you be hungry right now?
Wait, did you call
Yes or
me?
no?
Did you?
It's not, oh, I live life this way or
All
that
right.
way, or, well,
Wait,
I didn't have breakfast this morning. No, no, no. It's, yes, I would be hungry or I wouldn't be hungry.
wait, did you call me?
You can't engage. You
Wait,
can't engage in hypotheticals, my
That,
friend.
but that's a weak question because look, not everybody eats breakfast every day. Some okay, if he didn't have it's 9 o'clock, right? If he didn't have breakfast, he could have still had lunch and might not have been hungry. If he could have still had dinner and might
Mr.
not have been
Palu,
might not have been hungry.
would the answer be yes or no ultimately?
wait,
But,
Mister.
but, but it doesn't mean that he wants to answer that way because like you're gonna like if he knows the
Okay.
answer
Well,
that way,
you're
like
also
somebody might just
stupid. You're
it's
also
not
stupid.
stupid. No, it's not. It's
Good
just that
luck
not
talking
everybody
to
thinks the
Mr.
same.
Slave, guys. He's retarded.
That don't
Mister.
mean he's retarded though. I won't say that. I won't call him retarded because he don't understand your because look, he gonna think that's a trick question. If somebody asks you that, you be
He
like, "What
left.
kind of question is that?"
He
The first
left.
thing you gonna say, "What kind of question is that?"
He
That's the
left.
first thing you gonna say.
He left.
I know he left. I'm finishing my sentence, man. Can I finish my sentence and my expression?
But
God damn.
fine, you can finish. But look, as soon as someone is being so offensive, like calling people names, then you have to stop the discussion and discuss the discussion. I'm not interested in a violent discussion. If he's being, if he's not being nice, then there's no point. The point of a discussion is first and foremost to have a good time, to learn. We're here to teach each other. I'm here to learn. I'm here to, change my mind, hopefully. So if he won't,
I'm sorry about that, guy.
if he
But
wants,
yeah, you want to get back to the topic?
sure.
Yo, what are you guys talking about?
Talking
Uh,
about God and
yeah,
metaphysics.
my proposition is
Oh,
that if you propose that God exists and is unscientific, then you are lying.
Bro, I've already
okay.
responded to this twice.
Excuse me?
So is it is it atheists versus Christians or Muslims or what?
It's an absolute atheist. I'm an absolute atheist. I'm not saying that I believe there is no God. I'm claiming that everyone believes there is no God. Anyone who claims they do believe there is a God, they're lying because actually they believe there is no God.
Okay, prove
Yeah.
it.
I
Well,
Prove it.
okay, so explain.
If the wait,
No, no, don't interrupt. Let him prove it.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm saying explain.
yeah. So it depends on the definition of God. So I said, if your definition of God is unscientific and God exists, then you are lying.
Okay,
Hmm.
what defines scientific?
Oh, observable, science,
Okay,
testable.
would you say you can observe something that is not visual?
Sure,
Sorry, Mike, say that again.
of course.
Okay, so you could say something like, I observed that I woke up tired, right?
Sure.
Okay, so can't I observe my own beliefs? Like I believe that Mr. Slave annoys me, and this is an observation, right?
Let's not go there. You believe something else. Maybe that Mr. Slave makes you
Well, it
happy.
doesn't matter.
No, I don't want. I don't want to
Anyways.
have an offensive discussion. So let's keep it positive.
Okay,
Bro, what do
no
you
worries.
think science is?
No, no, no. Let me just finish. So, if an observation can be non-physical, and I can believe something about my own state, then why can't I believe that God exists?
I mean, look, if
I mean, this isn't even including the fact that
let me ask you.
theoretically,
Let me ask you a
yeah,
question. I'll ask you this. So, can you believe that 1 plus 1 is 3? Is it possible to believe that 1 plus 1 is 3?
yeah, you could believe a delusion
Well, I don't see how I can believe 1 plus 1 is 3. I don't see how I can believe it.
because you don't.
Right.
Just,
Try as I might, I
just
can't.
because you can't see doesn't mean it isn't so.
Well, I assume that you're no different than me. That's
Well, that's where you're wrong.
well, that's my assumption. So we
I'm not,
can add,
I'm not talking about.
we can
I
tag
mean,
we can tag many assumptions to my proposition. We can make it infinitely accurate for the rest of time. So yeah, one of my infinite list of assumptions is that we're all the same.
okay, and your assumption is based on.
No, it's an assumption.
Well, okay. So if everybody is just like you, then what are we even arguing about? Because I would just agree with you, right? Well, the thing is that solipsism is not like solipsism is easily refuted, kind of like.
Are you there, Mr. Slave?
What do you mean?
If everybody's like
It's
you,
an
then how can
assumption.
we disagree with
I'm also assuming that that there is a universe that I'm talking to you. I mean there. I
Well,
mean
just think about it, dude. If we're all the same, then how can we be disagreeing?
I'm the same as me from yesterday, and I don't agree with me from yesterday on everything. I can disagree with me from yesterday, certainly from 10 years ago, and I used to
Well,
be.
technically, you're not the same you, because the law of identity says that to be the same as something means to have all the same properties.
Anyway,
We
Because
got
there's
you
a
there.
different property between you and your past. Your past you exists at a different time. You exist now at a different time. So those are different properties.
yeah, that I still define it as same enough for all intents
Do
and
do you think
practices.
do you think the person exists? Like when I say I or you, what is you? What is I?
What's the question? I don't understand.
What is the
He's
identity
talking
of
about.
the person?
I'm assuming that you
He's
exist just like I exist. That's one of my infinite list of assumptions.
No, no, no. What he's asking is that if you're going to say that Mr. Slave went to the store
Mhm.
and then tomorrow you died and somebody else went to the store, that wouldn't be the same person. And to be the same person, even though you might wake up with a different haircut or something or a different belief, implies that there's something the same about you,
Yeah, I already
meaning there's a
said.
fundamental you
Yeah, I
that doesn't
already.
change.
Yeah, I already said that I don't care about that. Like we're the
But
same. for all intents and purposes, not we're the same to the infinite degree.
Yeah, but
Okay, so
you
you
not
think there's
caring
like distinct
not
identity, right?
Excuse me?
You think there's distinct identities, like there's you and then there's me.
For
There's
all
distinction
intents,
there.
we're having a practical discussion. So, for all intents and practices, yeah, there's me and there's you.
And do you think we're identical copies of each other?
Well, d- depending on the discussion, when it comes to my assumption that we're all, as logical, then yeah, we're identical as far as logic goes. That's why I can accuse you of lying.
well, that's a whole bro. First of all, first of all, that's a blatant contradiction because you're saying we're both logical and yet one is lying and lying is not being logical. So it's just you need to brush up on your philosophy because the other issue you're encountering is that
No,
you're
no,
using a lot of
no,
terms
no other
that are
issue.
not
No, you make one claim, you let me respond.
not really.
You
No,
don't dish.
that's
If you dish
that's ironic.
Gallop, if you
Oh
dish
no,
Gallop, then I'll just. I'm not. We're not gonna have a discussion.
that's ironic too because you're making more than three claims in one argument. So if you don't recognize that yourself, then that's why I'm saying you need to. And I can give you an example where you
No,
said
no,
like,
you have to let me respond to each
"All right,
statement.
I'm out."
Goodbye. Yeah, that was easy. Hafsa, are you having a good
It's just
time?
not making any sense, dude.
What?
It's just not making any sense.
I'm not making sense.
Yeah.
Okay, go on. I'm listening. That's that.
Like you're literally violating the law of identity
I'm literally.
because we all have different properties. We can't be identical.
I'm saying, for all intents and practices, for this, for I'm saying we're identical enough so that I'm assuming that my logic and your logic are the same. Maybe I have a higher IQ, a lower IQ, but in general, we're both logical people.
Okay, so bringing it back to God, how do
Mhm.
you know you're not just ignorant of God?
I am ignorant of God, but if your definition of God is unscientific, then you're saying God is unknowable. God is you.
No,
every Everyone is
there's
necessary.
other ways to know things than through science.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. Namely,
Well, there's reasoning, there's just base empiricism, which
that's
empiricism is the foundation for science, but it's not quite the same. Science is a whole process. So that's the two main ones is there's empiricism and reasoning. There's also revelation.
well. Let's break it up. Let's do it one at a time. So pick one and let's test it. Let's see. So which one do you want to discuss?
We could start with empiricism.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So you're saying. So what do you mean by empiricism? How is empiricism different than science? I thought.
Empiricism is knowledge gathered through senses. Okay. So,
Mhm,
like, if I'm seeing this light in front of me,
mhm.
that's information coming through my senses.
Okay.
This is empirical knowledge.
Okay. So what is?
Science is based on that. That's one part of science is observing. Okay.
Okay.
So you affirm that, right?
Of course. What? How? Like what are you trying to say? Like you're saying there's
That's
other
just
ways.
empirical knowledge.
Right. You're saying there's other ways of knowing besides science, and you're offering empiricism, and you're saying empiricism is senses. Yeah, that's still science. That falls within the realm of
No, that's
science.
empiricism. And see, this is a thing, an error I think you have
Hmm.
is that you think science and knowledge are the same thing. You think they're the same word.
I didn't use the word knowledge, so I have no idea why you brought the word up. We didn't bring up the word knowledge.
Okay, so then unscientific does not mean lying or false.
Yes, well, to me it does. That
Then scientific would have to either mean knowledge or truth.
well, that's just definition. So if we define,
Right. It's just equivocating, which is
excuse
a
me,
fallacy.
what's a fallacy?
It's called equivocating. It's when you're saying like red equals square. So anytime I say red, I really mean square. That's a fallacy. Red and square have their own definitions. They're distinct words. The
Okay.
same way
Um.
unscientific and lying. And hold up, cops are showing up at this freaking park.
So what do you want to do?
Yeah, I just gotta leave.
Okay.
But we could keep talking.
Okay. Wait. So you have to leave or what?
No, I just leave the park. I'm
Okay.
in my car right now.
Okay.
But yeah,
So
like scientific is not just base reality, okay?
hold on. So you're saying there's other ways of knowing besides science, namely empiricism. And I said empiricism seems to me, the way you define it, to be scientific. So you're not offering a new perspective how to observe the universe besides
I
science.
gave you three other epistemologies.
No, hold on. Let's decide that you're retracting your offer to know the universe different than science by empiricism, right? So you're retracting that. Yes or no?
No, I think empiricism is empiricism. I think science is science. They're not the same word.
I'm not saying they're not the same, but the way you describe empiricism, it certainly seems to be a part of science. It seems to fall completely within
Right. I
science.
can have empiricism without science, though,
How?
just by observing. I don't need to test the light to see the light. I just know it's there because that's what empirical knowledge is.
Well, I would define, I mean, the way you describe empiricism, it seems to me to fall within the definition of science. So
Okay, so what do you think science is? I was trying to ask that earlier.
science to me is empiricism, basically it's empiricism. It's using your senses to
Yes, you're committing the equivocation fallacy.
I
You're
don't
saying
care.
red is square.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't I mean, you're
Okay, if you
offering
don't care about being fallacious, then I'm not going to talk to you.
yeah, you can leave. That's fine.
This is my channel.
Oh, then continue. So, I mean, right?
Why don't you care about being fallacious? Like,
No, you're saying there's other ways of knowing besides science, namely empiricism, but the way you describe empiricism seems to me to be no different than science. Like come up with a new way of knowing. Like you best you're broken
it's
up.
like saying car is no different than Ferrari. Because Ferrari is a car, all cars must be Ferraris.
I'm not I didn't say that. I don't know why you would say that. The way you
Okay.
describe
Okay, so you
empiricism.
can have empiricism. You can have empiricism without science.
Look, you're telling me that there is a new way of knowing besides science, namely empiricism, but the way you describe empiricism falls squarely within the
Bro, you
definition.
just said this.
Okay,
Excuse me?
okay, Benjamin, please can you explain what do you think what empiricism is? First, because we are new
Empiricism
to.
is information gathered through the senses. And
Okay.
Through five
science
senses.
is
And you think
using
that's
hypotheses to predict a testable outcome.
look, look, right? As far as I'm concerned, there's only one way to know the universe. It is the scientific way. Empiricism seems to
And
the
you're
way
making a
what?
epistemological error. You're saying there's only one epistemology.
I don't know what that means. So as far as I'm concerned,
You're saying there's only one way to get knowledge. That's just false, dude.
but I'm fine. I'm asking you to
Oh,
present.
wait, no, okay. Let's break it down.
Mhm.
Let's break it down, okay?
What do you mean break it down?
Prove that scientifically that science is the only way to know something.
That fantastic. So I said, let's prove it. Through give me the other way by which to know. And you said empiricism. But empiricism, the way you
Oh,
describe it, falls to me under the definition of science. Like you're claiming that I'm
no,
wrong.
sir. Made a claim.
What?
You said science is the only way to know something.
As far as yeah,
Prove with science that that is true.
I'm right. I'm trying to prove it. Like I don't mind if there is
So
another
stop
way.
talking about me.
I said I don't mind if there is other ways of knowing that I've never heard of. That's fantastic. I'm always interested in other new ways of knowing. So if you've discovered one, let
So
me
you
know.
don't know.
Yeah, fine. So
So you don't know if it's true or not,
as
bro. It's a
far
self-defeating argument.
as far as I know,
No, no, no.
yes,
I think there is a saying that we should not be attached to anything and we should be open to everything.
I
So I
am.
think if there is any other way to rather than science, that I think we should accept that too.
Yeah. So tell me about it. Which is the other way besides
It's
science?
called
No.
reasoning. Have you ever heard of reasoning?
No, we're still with empiricism. So either you retract it or defend it.
Okay, I'll defend it.
Yeah, go on. Defend it.
I
I
know this light exists, and I don't need a scientific test to prove it.
again, what?
That's called empiricism.
Yeah, but empiricism is you said it's using the senses.
Yeah, I didn't use science, so it's not scientific.
Okay, so okay, fine. To me, it's the same as science. So fine. So
Well, you're committing a equivocation fallacy
okay,
again.
okay. Here, I'll grant you. So I only know as far as I know, there's only two ways to know the universe. One is science, and the other is empiricism. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see the difference, but for some bizarre reason, you think there is a difference. So I'll grant you that there's.
Because you haven't defined science. I've asked you to define science like 2 times. Define science.
I did, didn't I? Like as far as
No,
I'm
you
concerned,
said it's the
No,
same
no.
as empiricism. That's what you said when I asked you to
I
define
mean,
it.
I mean,
You won't define it.
science. I
In
mean,
my opinion,
You're just saying it's the same as something else. You're saying red is the same as square.
yeah, you said that.
So red means square.
Yeah,
That doesn't tell me what red or square
I
means.
didn't. I look. I'm not so much interested in playing word games and and games. So
Then don't tell me 2 words are the same.
I'm not saying two words are the same. There is a difference between science and empiricism. The way you define empiricism, there seems to be a difference, but it seems like empiricism is a part of science. So
Yes,
science
it
is
is.
still the only way to know the universe. Like you didn't add anything
No,
new.
there's still reasoning.
No, no,
There's
no,
still revelation.
no, no, no. You have to
So
either.
stop making that claim that there's only one way to know that unless you can prove it.
We
You
did.
can't prove it.
No, no, no. So
Therefore, it's a self-defeating argument.
you offered empiricism as the other way, and the way you describe
No, I
empiricism
two
falls.
methods:
What?
empiricism, reasoning, and revelation.
No, no, no. One at a time. So we're gonna break it up one
Well,
at a
then
time.
stop saying I only offered one.
What?
okay. Edmund, I think you should not be angry. You are getting angry. We should enjoy the conversation.
Anyway, I mean we're going in circles. I don't see. Like I
Yeah,
asked you for a new way to know the universe besides science, and you.
and I gave you 3 ways.
I don't want three. I want one at a time. So either I
Okay,
accept.
reasoning.
No, 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 no. You offered empiricism, so either you retract it or you.
Okay, so then stop saying there's only one way.
Well, then you need
You
to defend.
concede to that unless you're willing
Then
to
you
admit.
then wait. Then you're retracting empiricism as the other way besides science, right?
No.
Then
If you
defend it.
reject empiricism, you can't
I
even
don't
have
reject
science.
it. I did not reject it. I didn't reject it. I'm
Okay, so
saying
you need empiricism stand alone just to have science
what?
because science is built on empiricism.
Exactly. Science is
You
built.
think science is knowledge.
As far as I know, I didn't say science is knowledge. I said, as far as I know, there's only one way
Yeah,
to
but you're
know.
behaving in such a way that
What?
you do think science is knowledge.
Wait, your
Because
audio.
you're saying
Your
I'm
audio.
unscientific,
Wait, your
then
audio.
I'm lying.
Wait, your
That means
audio.
unscientific
Wait,
is
wait,
false.
wait. Your audio is you're touching your mic and you're coming in and out. So I'm losing your signal. So please repeat.
Yeah, earlier you said unscientific means lying. So that would mean that unscientific would have to mean telling something false, because that's what lying means.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
Mhm.
means scientific, the opposite of unscientific,
You're breaking
would
up.
have to be
You're
true.
roboting. Your signal is weak. You're
Okay,
so please repeat.
dude, I can't.
What do you mean? You broke you broke up. I don't know what you said.
Exactly. If I'm just gonna break up, how can I talk to you?
I mean, okay, there's no way for you to fix your signal?
I guess
I think
not.
it's like Mr. Slave is saying science and empiricism is the same thing. And then Benjamin, I think he's saying, okay, can you define the science? And you're saying empiricism is science. So you guys agree that empiricism, science, same thing. So Mr. Slaves,
No, I don't
you don't agree empiricism, science, and the same.
agree. No,
Benjamin?
empiricism is
We
one
can't.
part of science.
So
Fine.
if it's one
You
part
can't
of
have
science and
science unless empiricism exists as standalone. Yeah, science is using testable, observable prediction.
okay.
Empiricism is just seeing something or hearing something.
Oh,
That's empiricism.
okay. So do you use empiricism for God?
Well, you can. Probably not in your theology, but in
Can
mine
you
you
explain
can.
how do you do it?
Well, you hear God's voice
How do you hear God's voice?
through the Holy Spirit.
Really? How do you do that? I never heard of this.
Yeah, so like Abraham, for example. Abraham took the covenant with God, and when you take a covenant with God, God
No,
gives
I
you
mean,
grace, which is
no, I'm not asking Abraham. I'm asking, did
oh,
you hear God's voice?
yeah, I have heard God's voice.
How did you hear it?
It felt like it was coming from inside of me.
Really?
Like I heard it meant, but yeah,
Oh, you heard God.
I believe God also speaks to the conscience.
What did you say? God is what?
God also speaks through the conscience.
Oh, he speaks through the conscience, like our mind.
No, that's the conscious. The conscience, it's like the moral intuition of a person.
Oh, okay.
So
So
like when you get convicted, when you do something wrong and you feel bad, that's actually God speaking to you.
really, I never knew that. I never heard that.
Well, that's what I believe.
Okay, so as I
So when
said,
you,
go on, Hafsa, go on.
so here you say you heard God speaking to you, and God, He speaks to your consciousness. Okay, what else?
But yeah, he can also speak as a voice.
Really? Through which way?
Well, when the Holy Spirit lives within a person, he can just stay inside of your mind.
Oh, wow. So if somebody does not have the Holy Spirit, they can't have the access.
I mean, yeah, basically.
Okay, I see.
The Holy Spirit is when God made man out of clay and then he breathed the breath of life into him.
Okay, so we all have it.
No, not everyone has it.
Why not? Didn't God create all of us equal, or?
No, we're actually born from our mothers, not God. And so we have to be reborn.
Oh,
And
you
that's
mean
when we get the
baptize,
Holy Spirit.
baptize. You mean baptize.
Yeah. You're reborn when you're baptized in the Holy Spirit. Not in the water, but of the Spirit.
I was never baptized, so maybe I don't have it.
Well, you can have the Holy Spirit inside of you and not be baptized in it. It just baptize means a full submersion. So when someone says they're baptized in the Holy Spirit, that means they're saying they're fully submerged. The Holy Spirit
Oh, I
is
see.
taken over the full person's body. They have dedicated their body to God. And so God can actually use them to do God's will.
Oh, I see.
And that's why God respects free will, is because we're handing our temple over to God. So God isn't going to just force a person to hand it over, and do his will. He wants you to actually make the choice because you love him. And because we trust that God cares for us. He's not just going to lead us off a cliff to our death. He's going
Okay.
to lead us to life.
Okay, let me bring it back to me. So, like everything you're saying, these are just assertions. I can also just sit and make assertions. These are lies. Just making endless assertions. It's lying. You're lying. As far
But
as
he
I
said that he
Mhm.
said that he heard God inside of him,
I know.
and God spoke to him in his conscience. So would that be science?
No, that's a lie.
Prove it's a lie.
I mean, I mean, that's like saying prove that 1 + 1 = 3 is a lie. I mean, it's a lie. Like when you say
Yeah,
something,
I can prove that's a lie.
wait, what?
So you can't prove that you're lying or that I'm lying, sorry.
I mean, tell me how to prove that you're lying. Tell me how to prove that someone
Well,
is lying.
you said that making an assertion is a lie, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so if making an assertion is a lie and
Hmm.
you just made an assertion, which is that, then you're lying according to yourself.
No, that's just the definition. I'm defining. I mean, that's fine. I'm not. I
You're
mean,
asserting a definition.
yeah.
So clearly, just asserting something is not a lie, or else that would be a lie,
Okay. Look,
which would be self-defeating.
within my system, what you're doing, asserting, is lying. Within my system, you could claim that any
You're
system.
asserting.
You can claim correctly that any system is a lie. I would agree with that. But within any system, you can define lies. So within my system, you're lying.
Okay, well, according to your own system, you are also lying. That's a self-defeating system.
Not within my system. Within my system, I'm not
Within
lying.
your system,
What?
you're within your system saying, or sorry, asserting something is a lie.
No, I mean, I'm admitting, right? The system is a lie. But within the system, you can define lies. I can
The
define
system is a lie.
any system, right? Any system is just an assertion, right? The dictionary is a system, but it's just an assertion. Science is a system, but it's
And
just
you're saying assertions are a lie.
yes. But you can
So
within
that's a lie.
no, I mean within a system you can define truth and false and lies and truth telling. You can define within any system. So within the
Yeah, and
diction
if a system says, if I say ABC is lying, and then I say ABC, then I would be lying,
okay,
right?
I mean sure.
So if you say asserting something is a lie,
Yes.
and you're asserting it,
Yes.
then you're lying according to the very assertion you just made.
Right, but that's trivial. Because I
Yeah, your assertion is trivial, not my refutation.
look.
Do you really not understand how like you can assert something is not a lie? Do you think asserting is like making a claim without evidence or something?
I mean, if we define assertion as making a claim without evidence, then I would say that that is definition of lying. What else is lying?
Well, no, that's not lying. Lying is saying something false.
Okay, look, if we defined lying as making an assertion without evidence, if that's a definition of lying, then um, right, if you claim there is a God without evidence, then you're lying.
Yeah, I don't agree with that definition. And what you're saying is called an argument from ignorance fallacy, which is to say, because you don't have evidence,
But you
it
can't
must be
say you
false.
can't but you're gish galloping, right? You're saying, and also you have to let me respond, otherwise what's the point of making a claim? I can like
I just
one.
made two simple points.
No, so
Okay.
make one. So choose one and let's discuss only one at a time.
Yeah, I don't accept your definition of lying.
Okay, then, right, in order to have a conversation we need to agree on definitions. So so I don't know what to do. Like,
Well, if you're unwilling to compromise, then I guess we can't have a conversation.
what do you mean willing to compromise? I mean, I'm looking, like, we need to define lying. Well, you define lying. Define lying.
Lying means saying something false,
Okay, yeah, define false.
not true.
Define true.
That which exists and is real
Okay,
and act.
define. I mean, let's go with exists. Define exists.
Existence is.
Define is. I
Well,
mean,
that'd be a tautology.
okay,
Is
then, right,
existence.
then everything you said is a tautology. So you gotta fix it in order for.
Well, yeah, existence is that which is tautologically true.
Okay, then I don't know.
So yeah, it's going to be very tautological to ask what is existence.
Then everything you said is a tautology, which is a logical fallacy. So you just rolled back.
Tautologies are fallacies.
A tautology is not a logical.
Tautologies are like, dude, tautologies are like the most true things there are.
Okay,
They're so
then
true
you
that they're
just
just arbitrary to even talk about them.
what it. Okay.
It's like saying I am that I am.
Okay, I don't. Okay, so look, I'm looking for the definition of a lie, and what you just told me is something I cannot comprehend. So we need to agree on a definition to have a conversation. So I'm still
So
waiting.
you can't agree.
What
So
again?
you can't agree to that. Your
It's not.
only definition of lie is
It's
the
not.
argument from ignorance. Oh,
It's not that I can't agree. It's that I don't know what you said. I'm looking for a definition of a lie, and what you said. Hmm? I
it's
did.
not rocket science.
I
It's
didn't.
so it's saying something false. It's not rocket.
Okay, well, Uh, I don't know what your definition of a lie is. I offered a definition, a simple definition. You rejected it. That's fine. I'm still waiting to hear your definition that I can comprehend.
Would you like it a third time?
I would like it a first time.
Well, I gave it to you the first and second time.
You
Would you
said
like it
it's
a
a
third time now?
you said lying is a tautology. I don't know what that means.
No,
No?
no, I didn't. I said lying is saying something false.
And then we went false and true and exists and is a tautology.
Yeah,
Like,
which has nothing to do with the definition of false.
look, I'm still waiting for the
You asking a string of questions does not affect the definition.
look. In order to have a conversation, we need to agree on definitions. So I don't
Okay,
know.
so
Hmm.
let's agree. Let's
Agree,
agree that
but I don't.
false or lying means saying something false.
Yeah, but I
Why is
asked
that
you.
so hard?
Yeah, but I asked you what is false, and you said not true. What is true? You said exist. What is exist? You said is a tautology. So a
So
tautology.
I said this
Hmm.
means, or I said true means that which exists
Hmm.
is accurate
Hmm.
and is real.
Okay, but we so your definition of true depends on three things with an and, not an or. So any one of them, it depends on each and every one. So we need to define each and every one of those terms. So I asked for the definition of exists, and you said it's a
Okay, but I
tautology.
don't want to make a big argument.
Excuse me.
You just want to argue about definitions. You can't agree to one definition of
I'm
one
asked.
word.
What do you mean agree? I don't understand you.
Okay, so you
Hmm.
agree. Can you or can you not agree to one definition of one word?
What do you mean? It's not about agreeing.
Can you or can you not?
But what do you mean? Can I or can I not? I mean, I don't know what that means.
I mean, can you or can you not?
Well, I don't.
You can't understand that.
Well, I didn't say I don't understand it. Um,
You're asking, what do you mean?
I mean,
Bro, dude,
I
you're being
understand.
incredibly frustrating.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I don't want to frustrate you, but I'm trying to lead you to see the world the way I see the world, and you're trying to help me see the world.
Okay, well,
Hmm. Look,
you're not doing a very good job because all you're doing is just asking me the definition of every word inside of a definition.
look.
And then when we give you that definition, you ask for every definition of every word in that definition.
Okay, look.
And you're going down this endless chain of what's that mean? What's
Okay,
that mean? What's that mean?
right, but okay. Let's go into a tiny meta conversation. So, right, I want to help you see the world the way I see the world. I used to see the world the way you see it now. I used to believe in all those things, and I've outgrown it. So now I'm trying to help you outgrow what I used to believe. And I'm assuming,
I used to be an atheist, bro.
yes, I'm assuming you're the same.
I outgrew all that shit.
Yes, yes, I'm assuming you are my mirror image. And right, we're at the end of the day, we're trying to help each other.
Wait, so you used to be an atheist
I,
and then became a Christian?
I'm not going to go exactly to what religions I used to belong, but in general, I used to agree with what you're saying. I used to be religious. I used to be secular, then religious, and now I'm secular. I'm an absolute atheist now. But I don't have any issue with religious people. In general, I'm right wing. I'm a Trump supporter. I usually agree with religious people on more than I agree with atheists. Like atheists are usually communists. Atheists are terrible people in general on most issues. So it's not that I hate people that believe in God. It's not like I hate God. I just I've out you know I've outgrown it. I think I have a better my perspective on life today on truth is better than ever, and I just want to share it. I'm not saying it's like I like if I were in your shoes in this conversation like many years ago, it would have been very frustrating for me. I definitely can understand that. It's frustrating for me too because like I'm trying to be helpful and you think I'm being like obnoxious or like I'm trying to be hurtful, but I'm not. Right? And
No, I don't think you're trying to be obnoxious or hurtful. It's just you're going down that repetitive strand of questions.
but
That
it's
was
not
all.
but it's not for any malicious reasons. It's purely I'm being as beneficial as I can to the world. That's my best. I'm not trying to deceive, I'm not trying to confuse, obfuscate at all. I'm trying to be, as pure, as truthful as possible.
And yeah, what you defined as absolute atheism doesn't make any sense.
Fine.
You said nobody believes in God
Yeah, that's what I believe, after a lot of thinking.
because God is unscientific.
I mean, yeah, because I only know one way to know. That is the scientific way. I don't know any other
But
way.
belief is not knowledge.
A belief is, a belief comes out of the scientific way. When you experiment something and you become convinced through experimentation, that's a belief. So I believe, right, through experimentation, I believe in evolution, or through looking.
Okay, but you
Mhm.
can believe in things like unicorns. You don't have to have science to believe something.
I personally do, and I think everyone
I
does.
think what you're talking about
Hmm.
is called justification. So justification is when you have like evidence. I don't know the exact definition, but it's like when you have something that compounds probability
Hmm.
towards a proposition.
That's the way I see the universe. That's the scientific way. It's always probabilities. There's no absolute certainty ever.
So
Right,
Or
are
but I
you
something without having a probable cause. Like
wait,
people can just believe without evidence.
wait,
They
let
can. It's called blind belief.
wait. I wanted to let Hafsa. Hafsa, you
You
wanted to
don't
say?
think?
Wait, just 1 second. Hafsa, you wanted to say
Okay,
something?
okay, go.
yeah, I said if you have to also like disprove the scripture because the scripture is divine. So how would you do that?
How do you know that the scripture is divine? That's all the question that you'd need to ask, and then it kind of disproves itself.
Yeah. Like
No,
what?
that would be an argument from ignorance fallacy.
Like
I'm asking Mr. Slave this.
I would ask you, what's your definition of divine? If your definition of divine depends on something
Well,
you.
I'm saying I
Mhm.
don't believe religion just came out of nowhere. I think there's a purpose and reason behind it.
Definitely.
Like, I
I'm.
don't think it just came out of thin air and people just made this kumbaya up, right, and put in a book. You know what I mean?
Of
I
course.
believe there's a reason why we have religion,
There
right?
is.
And I believe there's a reason why we have this concept of God.
Yes.
If there is no such thing as religion and God, like nobody would believe it, right? So I believe there's a reason behind
Right.
why we have religion, why we have a lot of people on this earth, many religions exist, and why we believe in God. Yeah. So explain to me how why religion exists and where this concept of God come from, because you can't like disprove that. There's a reason why for it.
So I actually don't think I need to explain religion. I don't think I need to explain religion, but we can study religion like any other scientific phenomenon. So as far as I'm concerned, right, scientifically, we have noticed a phenomenon that we named religion, and it keeps, right, it's an emergent property of, I guess, humans, and we keep seeing it.
So are you saying religion is science?
Is religion? I wouldn't say religion is science. I would say science is. You could categorize science as a religion. That's I would
Yeah,
categorize.
basically the definition of a religion is like a large following of group of people, right? And they do like religious practices, right?
Yeah, I mean, so you could define science as a religion. You can define English as a religion. You can define the family structure as.
No, English is not a religion.
You could define it, right? By your definition, if a large group of people follow the same ritual, well, you could say English is like a ritual, right? You could say you could see it.
Yeah, the definition doesn't make much sense.
I mean, th- it's fine. Look, at the end of the day, we have noticed, but fine. We could restrict the definition of religion to like Christianity and Islam and stuff. So and such. So in such a case, you would say, okay, we have noticed a natural scientific phenomenon that we named religion, and religions, right? We can start studying religions, and I guess people have studied. I've studied religions scientifically a little bit. For example, we noticed that monotheistic religions evolved together with the Neolithic Revolution. That prior to the Neolithic Revolution, we had like we didn't have gods, we more had like demons, like everything was alive, like people that are hunter gatherers, they don't believe in gods, they believe in spirits. The trees have spirits, rocks, water, everything has spirits. But once men became Neolithic, like agricultural, and started large settlements, then large religions began. So religions grew in size and in modernity together with humanity. So it and they seem to reflect the culture. So in modern men, like since 10,000 years ago, let's say since the last ice age, basically, since we started settlements, so we started politics, we started having single rulers or monarchies and such. And that's when gods, certainly single gods, monotheistic gods, evolved basically to reflect the political system. So, like ancient men that lived in tribes didn't have a single leader. Rather, it was the elders. Like all the elders
believe in others' God. They think that only you have truth, and this one book can show the every part of God. That's the
Even
main thing.
even Islam, we believe like all these
Yeah,
religions
Islam
are
also believe
all believing in the same God. Yeah.
Islam also believe to beheaded those people who don't believe in Allah. How about that?
Yeah, that is to reject God's revelation, which is that Jesus is the only way to the Father.
Human life is very cheap
Because
for the religion.
Jesus reveals the Father. The Son always
And then you
reveals
know
the
what I
Father.
don't understand, right? About religion is the concept of religion, right? Do you really think God put us in this earth to worship him? Like do you think the purpose of humans is that? That's the only thing I don't understand about
No, I
religion.
think purpose,
Didn't you just say
the
that you
purpose
were
of
a
humans
Christian?
is to commune with God. We're to be God's
But
partner
why? But why would God need that from us?
because God is loving. He doesn't
Yeah,
need it from us. He wants us to love him
God
back.
is loving,
He loves
and
us and he gives us free will so that we can choose to love him.
Yeah.
God is
That's
sending.
what exists. That's why we're not chimpanzees running around because we can choose to transcend that. We can transcend
Yeah.
our animalistic nature.
See, chimpanzees are not dropping nuclear bomb. Chimpanzees are not burning these forests. Chimpanzees are not killing humans. Humans are
Chimpanzee,
killing humans.
Well, you
chimps.
can't blame that
Okay.
on. That's not God's fault. That's humans' fault. Like people have free will.
The point was is that without God we act animalistic because we think we are like the animal. If God isn't real, what difference really am I from all the great apes? I'm a little bit smarter. I might have less hair, but I'm still a great ape. But if God is real, then we can transcend that. We can go above that. We can be better than the animal
Why
because
does
we have
that depend on
dominion over
God?
the earth.
Without God, can you go to toilet?
What'd you say against insanity?
Why does
I'm
that
asking.
why does that depend on God or a God?
Because without God, we're not spiritual.
He's saying that without God, you can't go to toilet also.
And
God
what
is
I
doing that
don't mean
for him.
belief in God. I don't mean you just believe in God and you magically are
You're
a better
cutting off.
person. I think
You cut out for the
you
vast
have to
majority of
have
that.
You
You
cut
the
out.
you cut out.
grace of God.
You cut out.
When God puts his presence inside of you, you transform into a spiritual person.
You're cutting off, bro. You're cutting.
You cut out.
You're
Oh,
cutting off.
am I better now? Is it better
No,
now though?
no,
No,
Hello?
no.
no, it's not.
God cut off your mic. Without God, you can't have internet.
Nice.
Uh,
You should
can you
ask
hear
to
me now?
God, give me the better internet. Give me right now.
Uh, that's funny as fuck.
God will not do everything for you. You should do your own shit by yourself.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I don't think it's just like you believe in God and you magically become a better person. But it's that when God gives you his presence, his grace, then it transforms you into a spiritual person that
Mr.
transcends
Benjamin,
like physical.
Mr. Benjamin, there are a lot of
What's up?
peoples. There are a lot of peoples. Maybe they don't believe in God, but they are very good peoples. But the matter is, these religions they give the statement that only Christians can do the right thing. Only Muslims can do the right thing. Others who do the right thing, they will go to hell because they don't believe in your God. So your God is sending those good peoples in hell. That's the matter. I I don't believe in these kind of
Well, that's the
statements.
thing is we don't decide what is the right thing. Our ways, when we decide right and wrong, always leads to death.
How do you know that?
No man has
Damn,
ever made the
that's the Christian way of
choices
thinking.
to go and live forever.
Wait, hang on, wait a minute.
No,
Wait a minute, hang on, real quick. How do you know that when man goes their own way it results in death? How do you know that?
because every way that we decide to take will lead to death.
Hello. Can you hear me? Flyby? Fluffy bee? Fluffy bee. Fluffy bee. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you hear me, Fluffy bee? No? Matured creationism. All right. What else we got? Are women real? Hello.
No, I don't actually. I'm a certified nursing assistant for a living.
Hey,
Alright,
remember
well,
when
here's what I'm gonna do, right? This is my
Mm.
personal server. I made this.
It's
so
a
you
porn
can have
server.
an invite to it. Because if
Oh.
you'd like to, it's up to you. I'm just saying. I
would love to join.
Oh, fuck off.
What are you guys
Um,
discussing?
If you look hard enough in that server, you'll find
We're
his
discussing
asshole.
my dick. I am a horny bastard, is what I'm saying.
Well,
And also, yeah, Oracle, if I saw your knife, it's fucking hot. It's
Hey,
making me
Mr.
horny,
Slave.
baby.
hello.
Oh fuck! I dropped.
Yeah, no, I was actually like during whatever last discussion was going on, I was actually studying that blade. It looks like it was handmade. That's the thing I was gonna say. It does look like it's
Hello.
How are you, brother?
Hey, yeah.
So you need one, right? To open up. So you're underneath her name. She has full control over your bank statements. She has full control over your account. She has control of everything. She could take money out of your account, but you probably can't do it for her account. You probably can't set money to the side, but she can't. She's
Hello, Cheez-Its.
What's good, Mr. Slave?
What's going on? So, Christianity is silly?
Yeah, or I would say believing it is silly.
But do you believe in God?
I mean, you can believe in a God, but I mean, I feel like taking anything the Bible says into account is silly.
Okay, but do you believe in God?
Not personally.
Are you an atheist? Sorry, not an atheist. Are you a communist?
No.
You're not?
What does that have to do with religion?
No, usually atheists are communists.
okay. Here we go. Here we go.
Well, I'm not.
What do you mean, here we go? Is anyone here a commie?
Why'd you join this chat if you want to debate communism?
Yeah, I'm a communist. I live in Cuba.
Wait, why did I join this chat? I mean,
it feels counterintuitive, like if you want to debate communism, make your own and title it communism.
Okay.
Why would you just join a random chat that has nothing to do with communism and then try to force it to be communism?
No, I'm not trying to force anything. I'm the last.
I mean, you are though.
I am forcing? No, I'm
You're trying to.
no. I'm leaving. I'll create a separate room. Thank you. Let's see what we got. So that's a good idea. Let's call it communism is silly. Hello. Hello. Oh, Hafsa.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
well, that was an interesting debate you guys are having.
Yeah, but then my internet collapsed.
Yeah.
Let me see. I wanted to rename this room to Communism is Silly. What do you think? It's a good name? That's good. I'm beginning to hunger. I'm beginning to become a hungering individual. I'm gonna have to go eat soon. Otherwise, I might die of the hunger. Anyway, what do you got? What do you want to talk about? Are you a communist?
What is communist?
Communist means it's the opposite of free market. Like, do you believe that um, anyone? Do you believe in private property? Like, people should be able to own things.
Yeah, own their house. Yeah, own a land.
Right, but that means that some people will become very wealthy and some will become billionaires and trillionaires. Are you okay with that?
How will somebody buying a house make somebody else rich?
No, I'm saying that if you believe in private property, like owning a house, then, some people might be better than others at owning things and they would grow their wealth. And some will become millionaires and some billionaires and some trillionaires. So you're going to have inequality. Are you fine with inequality?
No, I don't like inequality.
So you're a communist.
Yeah, I'm mostly like in the Democratic Party, but I'm like switching to Republican, I think.
Are you in the
But I want to support like the reason why I'm in the Democrats is because like I want to support like minorities, those like the less fortunate, immigrants, like these people who the system beat them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically a communist.
I believe we should play fair and everybody has a right to have a good life.
What do you mean have a right to a good life? So do I have a right to have a house? Is it a right to have a house?
Yes. If you want it, you should have access to it.
Wait. Let's say I don't have a house. So would you say that society has to give me a house?
If you want a house, yeah, you shouldn't be denied.
Like just I should be able to snap my finger and get a house?
Obviously, you have to work for it.
Wait,
Yeah.
what do you mean obviously? So which is it? It's like two opposites.
Like you know what I mean is like
Mhm.
obviously housing is expensive, but you should like work to own your own property. Like houses now are like $500,000.
I mean, who's to say? I mean, a house, like who determines the cost of a house?
I really don't know because now the housing market.
Because now the housing market, then you stopped talking. Let me see. Somebody says you could try posting an argument to entice takers. Engelbert.
Who decides the price on housing?
That's what I'm asking. Like, when you have a
I
free.
guess the people, because the
Mhm,
land of that house, the ground,
mhm,
it belongs to somebody. So obviously you have to pay for the land.
mhm.
Then you have to pay for mortgage. Then you have to pay for homeowners insurance, all that stuff.
I mean, let's start just with buying the land from somebody. So, who determines the price?
The landowner.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So you
they decide the price of the land, and then
so but you said it's a right. So everyone should have a house. Wait,
but I don't think that the people who own houses have to pay for the land. That's extra money.
I'm confused. So, let's say I
Like,
don't.
why am I paying for land when I bought the house?
No, hold on. Let's just talk about the land. Let's forget about the house. Let's say just the land. So let's say people own land. Let's say there is no free land available except for other people's land. So, right, you said everyone has a right to a house. Do you still stand by that?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So if I don't have a house, let's say I don't have a house, so I should now get be given a house, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you want this house to be taken from somebody else, right? There is no available land. Let's say there's no available land. There's only like houses on land, and everyone
Yeah.
owns land. So who is it going to be taken away from? Like, once you take it away from somebody else, then that guy is homeless. So how do you deal with this? So it's like musical chairs. If you take away like if you take away, if there's more people than houses, then people are going. Somebody's going to be homeless. What
So
do
are
you?
you saying there's not enough available houses?
I'm saying there could be such a situation. So what do you do then?
Well,
Like, everybody
I don't want
says,
to get somebody. Yeah,
right.
nobody should lose their home.
I mean, even if they lose, then those guys are going to say, wait a minute, you said that everyone deserves a house. And now, so somebody's always going to be homeless. So by taking a house from X and giving it to Y, you haven't changed on average anything. You still have the same amount of homeless people. So how do you deal with the homeless?
I really don't know. Because
So,
if there's more people than houses, then that's an issue. We need to buy more land and build more houses then.
okay, but you know who stops new construction projects? I wouldn't even go there. But yeah, I mean, okay, so but you need to answer the question. So how do you deal with the fact that there's more people than houses? Right, you need to build more. So how do you get people to build more? What do you do?
I would just get them to. So who's stopping the construction? The Democrats?
I decided not to go there. I don't want to blame anyone. I want to, like, ask you a question, see if we can figure this out together. So what should we do? Let's say you rule the world. I appoint you the ruler. So, right, you want to make sure everyone has a house. but there's
Yeah.
more people than houses. So what do you do? So you want to incentivize new construction. How do you incentivize new construction?
I would make new construction projects, pay more funding and billing for more construction.
Wait, how do you get people to build? Well, what do you do? Right, you want to incentivize people to build houses so there's more houses than people, so that there's never homeless people. What do you do?
I would do pay more funding for housing,
What do you mean more?
housing construction.
Okay.
Like we need money. We need money to pay these construction workers in these construction sites. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's so unfair. Like now that for housing, they're looking at people's credit scores. If you don't have like 800 as a credit score, you're denied housing, and I don't think that should be the case. They should look at this person's track record, like if they pay their bills on time, if they're a credible person. But just saying, "Oh, your credit score is low, we're not gonna give you a house," it's not fair. Maybe they changed, or maybe they had like circumstances why their credit score is low, right?
Wait, before we go to credit score, I want to like keep it simple. So you're saying that as the ruler of the world, you're gonna, let's say, tax the people, take the money, and pay people to build new construction, new houses, right?
Yeah.
But then what do you do? Somebody, like, I got a house and I burnt it, and
Why did
now
you burn it?
because I don't care. Why should I care? Give me a house. You said everybody should, right? Everybody should have a house. Give me a new house. What do you do then?
Then that's a debt you have to pay.
Wait,
You had a house, you burned it.
so I get a free house, but if I burn it, then I have to pay for it? Like the first house I get for free?
Or you would have to pay for new construction, new money. We have to look for money for the land,
But the first
money for the construction.
but the
Yeah.
first so the first house I get for free, right?
Mhm.
But then if I burn it, then I become homeless, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna end up with a bunch of homeless people. What do you do then?
But if people burn their house, that's their problem. But if they have a house,
So
they should
how?
keep it and maintain it. They should maintain their house.
Okay, but some people are not responsible. Some take drugs. Some are, crazy. And so on. But like, like,
I know people are not responsible, but like they should do the background check on them. They do background checks for housing too. So if this person is not qualified to be a homeowner, they shouldn't get it.
okay, but the question is, so so what would you change in the world? Like, it sounds like you're ending up with a world that is very similar to the current world. How would you change the world?
The first thing is try to help people because people are what makes the world. If the people are not good, then we don't have a world, right?
Wait, but how would you help people? Like,
I mean, we have efforts now, like to help people with addiction, and we have clinics and stuff. But like, I don't know, because we had to end the problem with the
What
people.
what problem? Like addiction? No, let's try and
Mhm.
try and deal with the homeless. Just with the homeless. Just that, right? You want everyone to own a home. So what would you do?
Yeah,
Like you so in the beginning you collected taxes and you gave everyone a free home, but if they lose the home, what if you have a guy and he says, okay, so some people lost their homes, now they're homeless. So you don't care about that, right? It's like their fault. Like if you brought this on yourself, right? That you're homeless. So
yeah, yeah.
but how is this different than the current situation, basically?
Well, are the people, these Republican or Democrat or people of the House, the Senate, are they putting more funding bill towards more construction for housing, and
No,
are they making housing for the homeless? Because I don't
no.
know.
But let's say you have a homeless guy and you put him in a shelter and he burns down the shelter. What do you do then?
I don't know. I guess he has mental issues, and I'll put him in a mental ward.
No, he's like he doesn't have mental issues. He just wants, there's no mental issues. I mean, he doesn't like, for whatever reason. He likes fire, I don't know. He's just not careful. Like he's like why should he be careful? Like if you always give him a home, why should he be careful? If you what's the reason for him to be careful? Like it sounds like a normal person. If you tell him, listen, if you burn down this house, I'll give you a different house. So why should he be careful? What's the reason to be careful?
Well, they might not trust him with another house because he burned down the first one.
Okay,
And no, normal people don't burn down their house. They might have an issue. They may be going through depression.
but
They may be going through some problem.
normal people don't burn down their house because no one gave them the house for free. So they know that if they burn down the house, they're going to be homeless. But if I know that if I burn down the house, you're going to always give me a place to live,
Oh,
like a
I see
normal,
what you mean.
right? So normal people will not take care of the houses, and all the houses are going to just basically,
Yeah.
be destroyed because no one
You
is
will so basically you will value something you work hard for and earn for.
exactly. Like if you keep giving people houses, like every time they destroy the house, you give them a new house. Why should they be careful? Like I don't see that. Like a normal person will not take care of the house, and all the houses are going to become dilapidated, and you're going to have like poor neighborhoods. Like all the houses are going to just be falling apart because no one is going to take care of them. Why would anyone take care of his house? Like every time the house breaks down, they cry, "Give me a new house," and you give them a new house.
True.
So how do you fix this? How do you improve the world? How do you make sure that, like, what do you do then? Like, we have homeless. How do we fix that we don't have homeless? Well, what can we do to avoid homelessness?
I was talking to this girl today. She
Hmm.
works at a addiction center, and she helps people, homeless people. You heard of displacement, right?
No, what is that?
People who got basically displacement is people who like lost their house.
Hmm.
Their family kicked them out. Like they don't have shelter, and they end up homeless, right?
Okay. Okay, just
So
homeless. Hmm.
homeless people, yeah.
Hmm. I see homeless people everywhere. I mean, in the United States, like in most of the world, I didn't see homelessness. I traveled the world. I don't think there's homelessness anywhere else in the world except for in America. There's no homelessness in South America, in Europe, Africa.
Really? What do you think is the problem in America that has more?
Exactly. So, yeah, let's talk about it. Right? It seems to be,
Hmm.
and not even that. Like, there is homelessness in New York, New York City. There's no homelessness outside of New York City. Like in other states around New York City, I didn't see homeless. Actually, I think I saw homeless people, but not like New York City. Like New York City is like it's full of homelessness, and I hear San Francisco and LA are maybe the same. But it's not like there's homelessness in suburbs. I didn't see homelessness in suburbs. Like most of America, I think is
Well, I
suburban.
live in Eden Prairie. I live in a suburb, and I saw a homeless.
Hmm.
I think it was an Arab lady with her husband and a child. But there's nowadays I watch on YouTube people who are fake homeless, like
Oh,
they're just looking for money. Did you hear
oh,
about them?
yeah, sure. Yeah, I've seen videos about it like that. Yeah, they fake injuries, they fake being disabled. Sure, they make a
Yeah.
lot of. Like I saw a young girl, and like they actually, had a hidden camera, and she was like completely deformed and disfigured and disabled, and like you wouldn't believe. But they followed her every like at the end of the day she goes away at the end of the day, she comes back the next day, so they followed her, and they saw that when she's far away, she starts walking upright, and then she walks up to her car, and she had, if I remember correctly, a brand new Mercedes Benz. Like she was really making a lot of money because she was putting on an amazing show. Like
Wow.
crutches. Yeah, yeah.
Well, did they ask her why was she doing that?
Yeah, they confronted her, but I mean, the answer is simple. I mean, she made a lot of money because people see a young lady who's disfigured sitting in the
Mm,
street, so everyone's heart goes out, and everyone wants to help, and everyone is wants to help. So she made a lot of money, like a lot of money. Like they did a calculation that she was like making $1,000 an hour or something, like something amazing. A simple calculation shows that these people make a lot of money, and she's not the only one. There's many of them. But
mm.
yeah, I mean that's.
I mean, she's lazy. She can find a job and get money. Why sit outside and ask people for money?
I mean,
It's laziness, right?
but she would say, she found a way to make money. So uh, can you really blame?
Yeah, hookers, and strippers. They dance around, and men throw money at them, right?
I mean, but but at least there's no fraud. They're not defrauding anyone. Like she's defrauding,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah, she is. Yeah, she's just lying to people.
yeah, but getting back to homelessness, right? So if you think about it, there's really no homelessness in the rest of the world like there is in the United States. So and
Yeah,
in most of the United States, there is no homelessness. It's only in certain locations.
especially California. I think California has the highest homeless, right? Or was it
I
New York?
I know New York, and New York, it's yeah, there's a lot of homeless people, and
Mm,
I don't know if it's a lot, but you walk around, you see, but not in every neighborhood. It's like there's locations where you find them. I think more
We got to get to the root of it. When did homelessness start? Because
right.
if we look at evolutionary as humans and how we've evolved over time,
Hmm.
I mean, obviously we were hunters and gatherers, right? But
Yes.
like, if we've adapted to the nature of like working and living in housing and environment, how do we get back outside? Is it because it was our nature beginning, or what is it?
What do you mean get back outside? Oh, you mean the
Like,
homeless?
how did humans? Yeah, how did the humans end up outside? Because
Wait, what do
I
you
don't
mean?
think like the
Wait. What do you mean? End up?
basically. I'm saying, how did the human like? I don't know how like early homelessness started. Did it start at 1800s and 1900s? I don't know. I have to look at the history to track back when it started. But like humans, I don't think there was a point that homeless didn't even existed at some time. But I have to look into it. But
Wait,
if it
who
never
who didn't exist?
Homeless.
homelessness, we're talking about homelessness.
But
Oh,
but even if you look, you travel anywhere in the world, there's no homelessness. Like in China, like I don't think there's homelessness in China. I haven't seen. I've traveled. I haven't seen homelessness anywhere in the world. And in the
But
United,
I'm asking you, where do you think the root cause or the origin of homelessness
I
is?
mean, if we can see that there is homelessness only in specific places, then we can study those places and the causes there, right? It's not like
Mm.
it's not like it's the weather that, everywhere in the world, for example, there is rain.
Because if we live in America, right,
Mm-hmm.
an immigrant has the same right as a U.S. citizen, right, to work, to pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So if we all are equally here in America fair, why is a homeless person not deserving of a good life than a regular person? Like, why? What is the difference between the homeless and them? I'm just trying to study that. But like, I understand life gets hard. There's many reasons why people end up homeless, right? Like one of them I told you was displacement,
What?
involuntary encampment, like involuntary kicking them out of their house, kicking them out of their apartment, kicking them out of their shelter. That's one of them. Another one is substance abuse, addiction, depression. One guy on YouTube I was watching, he said he was sleeping at a bank he was working at, and then he ended up outside, but he was sleeping in a bank. And I saw a lady on TikTok who was sleeping inside of a laundry. One of those laundry places? She was
Sure.
sleeping inside of the laundry place with her children. Like people are hiding in laundry, in the bank. Like these places they're sleeping because they can't afford rent. They can't afford to live a life in America. It's a lot. And then they're like sleeping in these places. Like what else can they do? So either we give these people more money or we have to find a solution.
Okay, let's try. Let's take a case and give them money. What are they gonna do with the money? Like if you give a drug.
Maybe, for example, the mother who was with her children in a laundry place, it broke my heart. No mother should be sleeping inside of a laundry room with her child because her husband kicked her out of the house or whatever happened and she's homeless with her child.
But there's
She needs to
shelters.
take care of her baby.
What do you mean
I
there's?
know she didn't go to I mean there's shelter, but she didn't go to a shelter. She was
Why
sleeping
not?
inside of a
There's
laundry
literally,
area.
but there's literally shelters for women and children. Aren't there literal shelters for women? Like there's no.
shelters have capacity. There's not an unlimited amount of shelters.
I mean,
They have a capacity limit.
okay, so we can look. So we can give her money. I mean, but there's Section 8. She can apply for Section 8.
Yeah, she can apply Section 8, and there's also Section 42,
Okay.
affordable housing.
Okay. So
But
who's.
she needs to look for a job, right?
No, I don't think
And
so.
she needs to pay for a daycare. Who's gonna watch her kids when she goes to work? She needs daycare, right?
But what do you mean? I mean, but there's EBT and there's all these social networks that like
Well, EBT, you have to apply for EBT,
fine.
and I don't know if you have to,
I mean,
if
fine.
they'll give it to you to be qualified for
I
EBT.
mean,
But yeah,
a woman with children is not going to qualify. Then I don't know who is going to qualify.
I'm sure she will qualify. Yeah, but
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that I mean, that case sounds like a temporary case. Like she's still like
I don't even know I don't even know if she has a car. She's driving. I don't know her situation.
okay.
But
That's
I'm just saying,
okay.
yeah,
So that's
based
like
on what I saw, yeah.
okay, but that doesn't seem like you don't see women, homeless women in general. You barely see homeless women. Certainly, women with children. I've never seen homeless women with children in my life. But
Wow.
well, I personally haven't. I'm not saying there aren't.
I seen it. I seen it. I saw it on TikTok.
I'm not
And she was begging people on TikTok. I think she made like I don't know if she's lying, whatever, but you know, people on Facebook and TikTok, they'll say, "Oh, my husband abandoned me or whatever happened to me." They'll make a website, GoFundMe page, and people will raise money for her
Yeah.
and stuff. I've seen people raise money online, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's a good way to like, you know, tell people you need help and get money because TikTok people will give a lot of money to help
yeah. So
people.
I don't
I've
think.
seen that.
Yeah. So such as
Alternatively, we could just end homelessness, right? It's a simple solution.
how?
But how do we end it though?
Oh, you just give people homes. So even currently in the United States, there's more homes than there are people. So
Okay.
it's pretty easy
But if you
to give people homes.
what if you give me a home, I don't have any reason to take care of it. So I'm gonna
Mm,
right. It's gonna break
But that's
down.
not
doesn't make
fair
any
though.
sense.
That's not fair though, because
Wait,
homeless people deserve
can
to
you?
have a house.
But I just want to hear the logic here. What is the logic to say that people will not take care of the place that they live in? Why wouldn't they?
If you guarantee me that if my house breaks down, you're gonna always give me a house, then I have no reason to take care of the house, right? I'm not even gonna take out the trash.
That makes no sense. Why would people want to live with roaches and mice and rodents?
Because as soon as I
Because it's
ask you,
free.
yeah, because as soon as the house break, actually I
The
have a
reason I take the trash out is not because I pay the mortgage, okay? The reason I take the trash out is because it smells bad and I'll attract rodents if I don't. I don't know what this concept is. If my house cost $1,000 a month, $4,000 a month, I would still take out the trash.
wait. So I was mid sentence when you interrupted me. So right. So I mean, if you guarantee me a house, then I have no incentive to take care of the house. Right? As soon as the house fills up with garbage, I'm going to complain that there's roaches and rats and give me a house. So since you always right, and if you don't give me a house, I'll burn it down. Now there is no house. Now give me a house. I'm homeless. So I actually have an incentive.
Who's doing this?
No,
Who has ever done this ever?
no, hold
There's
on.
subsidized housing now. Okay, but you're making up a fairy tale. I don't know why. Why would anyone ever do this? Could you give me a single account any time in history that this has ever happened when
I
people have been given subsidized housing?
no, I don't have to give you a reason. This is where we're dealing with a hypothetical. So I'm giving you right. I'm giving you a hypothetical scenario. There's no
Okay, what if a unicorn comes and eats the house? I guess yeah, but yeah, hypothetical. But none of that is realistic. That's the problem. You can give hypotheticals; they just have to be realistic. And you have to explain some reasons.
I mean,
Why would someone let their house fill up with trash and live with roaches? Who wants to do that? For what reason?
okay, you keep interrupting me. And look, so I'm just saying there's no incentive, right? Let's say I live in a house, I have no incentive to take care of it because if the house falls apart or burns up, then you're going to give me a new house, a different house. So I have no incentive to take care of the house, right? Compare that to if it's my house. Certainly, if I worked for years for this house, I'm going to take care of it more than I'm going to take care of my own personal body because it took me years to get to a house. Right? Easy come, easy go. But if you work hard for it, then you really appreciate it. I mean, that's right. You
But I understand what you're saying. Like, yeah, we should work hard for it. But how can a homeless person Like, who needs a house, especially with children? You know, they need a house. To be denied a house just because they didn't have the money or the funds to pay for it. It's not fair. They're not in the
Can I address
circumstance. They're not in the circumstance to have the money for it.
Can I address this incentive thing? It makes no sense. Okay, you have to prove this. Why the incentive is that you don't have cockroaches and bugs and you have a roof over your head tonight. What
Yeah.
why on earth would people burn down a house that they're living in? For what reason?
Let's
Why on earth would people allow a house to be filled with mice and roaches? For what reason? There's no incentive to do that. There's every incentive to not do that.
But you agree that if I worked hard for a house, I'm going to treat it, or for anything, if I worked hard for something, I'm going to treat it different than if I.
Well, I lived in an
I don't
apartment.
agree.
I lived in an
Yeah.
apartment, right, Mr. Slave,
Mm-hmm.
with my ex, right? And then I would like look over my apartment and clean it, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he wouldn't like take the trash out. Like, I cared so much about taking the trash out, doing the dishes, vacuuming, and washing my carpets. I did all of that. I maintained my home because I want to live in a clean home and environment,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm paying for the rent and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I value it. I value living in a clean environment.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much because I'm paying for it, but I value being in a clean home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's the incentive right there, that you have a clean place to live, that you want to make sure there's not rats and mice right next to you. Right? Like
Right.
that's the incentive. I don't want to live with mice, so then I, clean my house, I do the dishes, I take the trash out. Has nothing to do whether I rent it, whether I'm living there for free, doesn't really matter, right? When I was living at home with my mom, I was in high school,
Mm-hmm.
right? I would still take the trash out, not because, oh, I'm paying for this house, because I wasn't paying for the house at all,
Mm-hmm.
but because I know that one, it'll smell bad. You can attract rodents, you can attract insects, right? Like these are all actual worries.
Mm-hmm. But you said you don't believe in incentives.
No, I just explained the incentives. The incentives is that you don't attract rodents, insects, your house doesn't smell bad. These are all incentives. You live in a comfortable, nice, not dirty environment. These are all incentives to take care of, the place that you live in.
Right. So you agree that if I'm always guaranteed like a house, then I have no incentive to take care of the house.
No, that's not true at all. I just explained all the incentives that you have to take care of a place you're living in. I
Yeah,
don't know. Did you hear me?
but stop it. Like you can, like, it's not nice to talk that way. Talk nicely. We're being nice to each other. We're not being mean. We're not like other people. We're the nice ones. So yeah,
I wasn't being mean. I was repeating myself. So I was
that's
asking, did
fine.
you hear what I was saying?
It's
Okay.
okay to repeat. It's fine, and forgive me. Yes, I know we're going a
Are
little
you
bit.
saying like homeless people, they don't deserve for the government to give them a house?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm looking. Of course, I care about everyone just as much as you. I mean, I'm like, I'm a person just like you. So like, we all care. We all have emotions. Like, we all see suffering. We would rather fix it if we can, if we feel that we can fix suffering, right? I'm not different than you. I'm not a sociopath. I don't enjoy people suffering. So I'm not different. So, but
Do you own a home?
I'd rather not talk about myself. But so let's talk about the universe that is not me. So
Okay.
let.
Well, I'll tell you, I own a home, right? So I'm trying to understand why you think, like, from your perspective,
Mhm.
you wouldn't, like, are you saying from you, like, you personally, you wouldn't take care of a home if you got it for free? Is that
No,
what you're
I'm not.
saying?
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about in general incentives. Like, if there is, if if there is no incentive to take, right? You're saying there is an incentive to
Right.
just for the cleanliness, but compare that. Let's say let's compare two people. that are identical except for one lives in a house that is not guaranteed by anyone, that he worked hard for, where the other one got it for free, and if anything were to happen, will get a new place to live for free. So you agree that the one that owns the house that is not free has more of an incentive to take care of the house than the guy who is guaranteed a house in case anything goes wrong, right?
Well, I guess from a practical standpoint, what I do know is that people who are poor actually
Wait,
take care of their house. People who are
wait,
rich just pay
wait,
other people to take care of their house. So,
wait,
do
but
you
you're not.
believe that rich people work hard for
Wait,
their money?
you didn't answer my.
That's true because people with money don't they have like nannies who come out in the home
Or
and
just,
clean their
I mean, I'll be
house?
honest, I once a month I pay someone to deep clean my house, right? It's
Wait, but
2,400 square
you
feet. I don't
didn't
want to clean it
answer.
all.
You didn't answer my question though. So I just asked you if there is a difference in incentive. You never answered. Yes or no?
No,
There's no difference?
there is no difference whether you have a home that you lived in that you paid $0 for, $100,000 for, $500,000 for. There's no difference in the incentive to keep your place nice,
No, no, no.
right?
No,
You,
that's not the question. The question is this, the hypothetical is there's two scenarios. One is you work hard for the house and it's not free and there's no guarantee if anything were to happen to the house, you'd have to work from scratch for a new house for years. That's one scenario. The other
when you
scenario,
say work from hard or like work hard, what do you mean?
like like many years to buy a house. But let's compare that to the other scenario where housing is free. You're guaranteed a house. If something were to happen to your house, okay, leave it. We'll give you a different house, right? You agree that in such two extreme scenarios, there's more of an incentive for the homeowner to take care of his house than the guy who's not a homeowner, right?
Wait, for the homeowner to take care of his house compared to the guy. We're talking about people that own homes. They're just not paying for, it. They got a free home if they can't afford it, right?
No, no,
So
look,
I'm trying to understand what you're
yeah.
saying.
So
So you're
two
basically
scenarios.
you're saying someone who got a free home, right?
Two scenarios.
First,
One is the housing is not free, housing is expensive. You worked hard for many years to buy a home, you have a home, and if something were to happen to it, you're SOL, you got to work hard from scratch. So that's one scenario. Second scenario is housing is free, you got the house for free. If something were to happen to the house, you would just get a new house. So you agree or disagree that there's more of an incentive for the first scenario of the homeowner to take better care of his house than the second scenario where it's not a homeowner. He just gets free dwellings, right? You agree or disagree? What's your position?
well, just to be clear, we're
Mhm.
talking about a homeowner in both situations. One person just gets a home that they did not have to, pay $600,000 for because they could not afford a $600,000 home, right?
No,
So they're
I don't
both
know. I
homeowners.
wouldn't. Okay, they're both homeowners. One,
If you own something, you want to take care of it. If you like, especially where you live, right? If I got a car for
why
free,
would you want to?
okay,
Why would you want to take care of it if you're right? If you're guaranteed that if something happens, you okay, leave it. We'll give you a different one. Why would right? You agree that there is less of an incentive to take care of the home. No,
because you live there every day. Why would you not take care of it? So,
because
like for
if
example,
something.
right? Let's say you put a
Mhm.
yeah, if you put a hole through a bunch of walls, right? Now you're living in a home with holes in the walls. How is that good? Why would you want to do that?
Like you, I I don't understand. Okay, so you think that it's the same incentive. The incentive to take care
Of
of a home doesn't depend on on the scenario. Both will take care of the
No,
homeless
could you
thing.
give me an example? Could you give me some imaginable
That
example
I
where
gave
people
you.
that pay
I
more for,
I gave you.
well, like a real example? Do
What do
you
you
think
mean?
that there are people today
What do
that
you,
work
no, I gave
to
you an
pay for a home?
example. But I gave you an example. I mean, if you deny if you deny what I'm saying, then that's it. We've reached an impasse. I don't know how to continue. I mean, we can continue, but I like going in circles. If you think that the incentive is the same, then I don't understand you. And I mean, we could look up examples, but I'd rather not.
But I mean, I asked like, for example, right? If you put holes in the wall, I just want to know what type of scenario, okay? Could you give me
Mm.
something that has like, give me a reason as to why someone would want to destroy the place that they're living in just because they got it for free? What would
Because
be
they'll
a
get
reason to do that?
because if they destroy this one, they'll get a new one for free. So
That makes no sense. So you're saying people who are homeless, right?
no,
Then get a home,
I'm
okay?
not saying I
Hold on,
said
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I just want to clarify though, right? Because we're talking about homeless people getting homes, right?
no.
So you're saying
No,
you can envision a
we're not.
scenario.
We're not.
I just
No, you're
wait, are we
obfuscating.
not?
You're obfuscating. The scenario I made the most extreme example I could think of, and you're
I know.
you're complicating it.
I'm not obfuscating. I'm asking you a question.
There's no
This is a
homeless.
question for clarification.
There's no. I didn't say the word homelessness. I didn't say it. I said there's two scenarios, two individuals. Everything is the same, except for one worked hard and the other one got it for free. And if something were to happen, we'll get a new one for free. That's it. That's all we know.
Okay. So hypothetically, right? Let's say I burn down my house today,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually I'll get another house for free. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not eventually.
After I burn down my
Not
house,
eventually. Right
where
away.
where am I sleeping?
Right away. We give you a new place.
How can you get a house right away? It's literally impossible. There's no process like that to get a house right away. It's
That's the
impossible.
hypothetical. Given a hypothetical, right?
Okay. That doesn't even.
We want to create the most extreme hypothetical to break the symmetry. That's right. So let's make it as
No, you
extreme.
just create realistic scenarios.
Okay, look, then
So the point of hypotheticals is that they're realistic. If I just say, well, what if a unicorn eats my house?
all
Okay,
right.
but
Look,
that's not realistic.
okay, look. So this is an impasse. You're refusing to answer the question.
I've answered it. I've already told you you don't like my answer, but I've told you so many times. I've given you specific incentives that people have to take care of the homes,
That's not
whether or not they pay for them. You don't like them. But
you.
then I told you that
I presented.
people who are poor, I
You
would
said.
argue that people that
You said. You said that it's unrealistic. Once you're refusing to answer the hypothetical. What you need to
I
answer.
answered it. I already
No,
answered it.
you said it's unrealistic. That's not
No,
it.
you asked, would people have more of an incentive?
You said
Listen, I'm
it's
going to steel man what you just said, okay?
okay.
You said, do people have more of an incentive
Mm-hmm.
to take care of a house that they worked very hard to pay for, right?
Mm-hmm.
In one scenario. And in another scenario, is there an incentive to take care of a house that you got for free? Okay. And I told you
That's not
that.
it. That's a misrepresentation. That's not. That's,
Okay.
and if something were to happen, you'll get a new one right away for free. That's important. Now answer the question
Okay. Okay. You'll get a new one for free.
right away.
Now, if I guess you teleport into a new home, wonderful.
I didn't say that. Look,
So
that's not nice. Look, I didn't say teleport. Let's say the house
when
next.
do you get the house? When do you get it?
It's available. Just move in right away. We'll send the movers. Tell us when you want to move in like very quickly. In a couple of minutes,
Okay.
we'll move you to a
So
new place.
so I just right. So you have things in that home, okay, that you care about,
No,
that of
I didn't
course
say that.
you would
No, I didn't
what?
say that. That's not part of the hypothetical.
Okay, people don't have things in their homes that
That's
okay,
not.
part of the
I
hypothetical,
stop. You
people
gotta
don't have things in their homes.
stop. Stop being mean. That's it.
No, I'm giving an explanation, and you're just saying that's not what I'm saying. I'm giving an explanation for why the incentives
You have,
exist, and then you
but
keep
you
saying, "Oh no, that's not what I'm saying. That's
okay.
not part of the hypothetical." That's what you keep telling me.
Correct. Yeah, correct. It's not. It's let's make it even more
So is the
extreme.
home empty?
Hold on. Let's make it more extreme. It's fully furnished. Everything is ready. All your clothes, everything. Will buy you new everything. Right? We're like a super socialist. We're like the ultimate utopia, communist utopia. Like if anything were to happen, boom, you get everything new right away. Just move into the new place. Everything is ready for you. The new place, fully furnished, fully equipped, everything brand new. Right? You agree that there's less of an incentive compared to the guy that is going to be SOL if his house, if something were to happen to his house. Right?
No.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So if you in this particular situation, okay, you're inconveniencing yourself from leaving the place that you're currently living in. Where first of all, we're talking about homes as if they're isolated environments. You
No,
live in a home, inside of a
there's no
neighborhood,
inconvenience.
inside of a community.
Wait.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. You keep doing this
Yeah,
fucking
I'm
thing.
gonna.
Okay, so I can't finish the point that I'm making either. But then you're gonna add some other caveat. But my whole point is that homes are not isolated entities, okay?
Okay,
You live in a home in a neighborhood inside
we're
of a
not
community.
talking about that. We're asking about incentives. What's wrong? Why are you upset?
Yes, and I'm telling you incentives right now, and then you're telling me
What do you
no, we're
mean?
not talking
You're
about
not.
that.
I'm
You're,
giving you a
no,
hypothetical. Why? Wait. What's going on?
yes, and then I'm explaining the incentives in regards to the hypothetical you provided. How what don't you understand?
Trying
What am
to
I
change.
saying?
I want to. Right. I'm trying to make the hypothetical more and more extreme until you relent and agree that incentives work. So if you refuse to answer my
This doesn't even make sense.
what
I'm answering your hypothetical right now, and then you keep interrupting me. I don't know what's going
I'm
on.
changing it. I'm modifying the
In the middle
hypothetical.
of my answer. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
So there's not even inconvenience. You're at work. When you come home, instead of coming to home X, you'll come to home Y, that is basically next door. There's zero inconvenience. Everything is ready for you. Come home to the new place. So then you
That's
agree.
next door.
It's
What?
whatever. It's just as convenient. There's no inconvenience.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Right? I'm making the
Yeah.
most
So,
extreme case. So you agree that that incentives work.
mhm. So you keep saying so that I agree that incentives work.
I'm trying to get
None of
you.
this has to do with real. What's the point of us talking about this? What's the point?
Well, look, you so you refuse. So you agree that you're refusing to answer the question.
I keep answering it, and then you keep saying, "Well, what
Yes,
if the new house is
exactly.
next door and they build
Yes,
it overnight? They
yes,
build you a new home next door. You don't have
yes,
any neighbors, and they keep building you a home. Yeah, that's
yes.
impossible. That couldn't
Okay,
work."
but that's the hypothetical. So you're refusing to
Okay,
answer.
and in your hypothetical,
Mhm.
nobody would have homes if they decided to destroy them overnight every single day. Like it's
Exactly.
ridiculous. Like of course.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
so your
Exactly.
whole hypothetical
That
makes no sense.
yes, but
It's not
well,
even possible. You can't build a home overnight.
look, fine.
Like the whole thing makes no sense.
Okay, look, that's the hypothetical. It like I don't you're refusing to answer
I
the
might as well have
hypothetical.
said the unicorn. Okay, I'll ask you a question. What if the unicorn eats the house? Then
No,
what?
you look. It's a simple
What if a
hypothetical.
unicorn eats the house?
Look, it's irrelevant. We're not discussing unicorns eating houses. That has
You
nothing.
basically are.
No,
You're talking about some weird thing where someone decides to burn down their house
no,
because
and
they're bored, and then
no.
overnight they have
No, I
a fully
never
furnished
said.
house built next door.
Yeah,
You did. You
that's the
said, "What's
that
the incentive to not burn down your house?" And then I provided you with incentives to not burn down your house, and you're like, "Well, what if you just keep getting a free house that's next door that's fully furnished with all your clothes? Every time you burn down your house." And I'm like, "Well, that's not
exactly
realistic." And you're like, "Well, it's a hypothetical."
correct.
What's the point of a hypothetical if it's not realistic? Why would you even mention it?
To stress test your position.
Okay, I don't deal in like non-realistic situations if I'm talking about actual policy. If we're proposing a policy to give everyone homes, none of these things could happen that you're talking about. You cannot, people aren't, you can literally look at subsidized housing today as an example, okay?
No, I don't
People
want.
don't just
Okay,
destroy their home.
okay,
Okay. If you don't want to look at real existing
not
examples, then
yet.
we care about different things in this conversation.
You're
Would you get
refusing.
arrested for arson if you did that?
Yeah, yeah, it's literally illegal. You get arrested for arson, you do. But that's not he's saying that if okay, go ahead.
I didn't say
Uh,
that. That's the hypothetical is given. I asked, is there a different incentive for a homeowner that worked hard for many years to buy a house, to take care of the house, relative to a guy that got it for free, and if anything were to happen, were to instantaneously get a replacement without any inconvenience?
No,
Then,
because that's a personal thing. We're like, if you value the house, you value the house, and if you don't value the house, you don't value the house. It doesn't matter
exactly.
how much work you put into it necessarily. Either you value it or you don't. Like someone who put a lot of work into
100%.
building their house could just burn their house down if they wanted, right? Like that's literally the plot to
Exactly.
one of Ayn Rand's novels. This guy doesn't he
What
build like a load of buildings and then blows them up with the fountainhead or something?
what's crazy is like actual rich people, okay, who let's say if you believe rich people work hard for their money, right? They actually don't take care of their homes. They pay other people to do it. Okay? So this whole analogy doesn't even make sense in the real world. So all that I'm trying to point out is that if you were to give homeless people a home, right? Yeah, they would take out the trash. Okay? They wouldn't just not take out the trash. Like it's an absurd idea really that we can't give homeless people homes because oh, what if they don't take out the trash and now there's cockroaches? Why would anyone want to live with cockroaches? It makes no
You can just
sense.
put them in government housing where you make sure they're not allowed to just do that in their home, right? If they don't take out the trash, then there's consequences, right? You can just punish them for
I
not
mean, you
doing
could do that too, but I'm under the belief that there are no people. I mean, unless you have unless you're on the TV show Hoarders, right? Like
it.
they're
Right,
gonna
right.
take
They're
out your
horrible.
trash.
okay,
Right.
Yeah,
so
like, but
I'll ask
that's
the
a mental health
question.
condition, right?
Okay,
Yes.
let me present again the hypothetical. Oh, Entropy came and left. Why did she leave?
I have no idea.
Okay, so let me see. Where is she?
I just want to be clear. A hypothetical where it is somehow not an inconvenience to destroy the place that you live in is confusing because it's always an inconvenience to destroy the place that you live in, whether you pay for it or not.
That's not my hypothetical. My hypothetical is that let's say you're away from home. You went to, we're losing people, so it's just me and you now. So Hafsa went to random debate. Anyway, so okay, so you claim that there is no incentives. Everyone behaves regardless of incentives, according to you. So you don't believe in crime and punishment. Okay, I'll wait for you to reply. Anyway, so they say you could try posting an argument to entice takers. Okay, he says calling.
Anyways, so
Mm-hmm,
since we're the only two people here, though,
mm-hmm.
um, you do realize, right, that like what I'm talking about is like in real life, you would just have to demonstrate with some kind of evidence that people would have some incentive to not take care of their house because I provided a number of incentives for people to take care of their house even if they got it for free.
I'm like before we go to looking at data, which we could. That's a separate. That would be a interesting discussion. That would entail research. But just as far as incentives go, I mean, are you denying that incentives work? Do you think crime and
No,
punishment? Wait, do you
no,
think
I just told you
Mhm.
crime and punishment. What are you talking about?
like do incentives work in general, like crime and punishment
Yeah,
or
I just gave you
Mhm.
I gave you examples of incentives that exists for people who live in homes that they got for free to take care of them. I gave you several examples. Now, I don't know what crime and punishment, what that has to do with it,
Like
but
incentives
in terms of incent,
in general, like
yeah,
reward and punishment, do they work? Do Are people incentivized? People, animals, do incentives work in general? What's your opinion?
yeah. So like positive and negative reinforcement work to some extent in different scenarios. Um, but there's
Hmm. What do you mean? Do
so
they?
there,
So you're saying it's not
yeah,
yes or
and
no?
no, because like there's a whole branch of psychology referred to as behaviorism
Hmm.
that looks at the biology of living animals. And
Hmm.
in animals, we see this thing called instinctual drift. So even with positive and negative reinforcement in certain situations,
Hmm.
um, certain animals' instincts will just take over and negate that sort of positive and negative reinforcement. So instinctual drift is much stronger um, in particular circumstances. But you can, have positive and negative reinforcement that will change people's behavior sometimes. But humans are far more complicated than that. And sometimes there are just things that people want to do for other reasons, right? Other environmental factors that you can't enumerate in total. And that's okay, right? So if you were to say that, like, oh, a human will do X because Y,
Hmm.
you don't know that unless you analyze more factors about, human nature.
Hmm. Would you say humans are irrational?
Humans can make rational decisions.
But are they always rational?
Oh,
Yes.
humans don't always make rational decisions.
Okay, that's good. So, can you give me an example of a human making an irrational decision?
Making an irrational decision. I mean, um, you know, let's see. For example, people doing rain dances, right? To
Hmm.
make it so that it rains,
Hmm.
right? That's not a rational decision, right? It's
So,
based on a logical fallacy, post hoc ergo propter hoc, where um,
so
you
why?
believe that there's a cause and effect relationship
Okay, okay, okay.
with.
No, no, no.
Okay,
I just okay. So why are they doing it?
because they've put together in their mind that there's some connection between them, a correlation between when they dance and it raining, and sometimes when they dance it rains.
Hmm. So,
Hmm.
right, sounds rational.
It's based on a logical fallacy, right? So there's a number of logical fallacies we could look at. This one in particular would be post hoc ergo propter hoc, right? This, therefore,
It
that,
sounds,
and
but it sounds like right in their mind
You
they're
have to
being
say it so gaily. Can't you just say it like not gaily?
what?
Like not gay.
wonderful,
Get
dude.
used to
I
it.
mean, it's just Latin. I don't know if you don't know
Oh my
logical
god, it's just
fallacies. That's okay.
Latin. It's just Latin.
What's
Yeah,
Latin?
it's just Latin.
Latin what?
Yeah,
Post hoc
just do it
ergo
in a
propter hoc.
non-gay fashion, please. Don't be a gay guy. All right, we don't like gay people.
Okay, buddy.
Clearly.
What's going on?
Wonderful. I don't know. He's just being weird. He joined and started to be weird, but
Trail staff, don't be weird. We're having a nice discussion.
You don't be weird, Mr. Slave.
Okay, I'm not
Fucking
weird.
speaking like
Like
a gay guy. You guys are all gay. Stop being gay.
I don't wanna have to mute you, but I will, so stop.
That's gay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna mute you.
Oh,
Done. Too late. Like text me in the side chat that you're gonna stop it, so I'll unmute you. Anyway, Coral Docs. Where were we?
yeah.
So right,
You
like
said, why do they do the rain dance? That's where we're.
right, but like in their in their mind, they're being right that they have a reason to rain dance because they think it's gonna work. So right, they think there's a cause and effect. They're gonna, right? And in their mind, they're being rational.
Mm,
No.
in their mind, they're being rational. So this doesn't follow reason, though, right? So there's like laws of logic, and if we were to look at a causal relationship between these
Let
things,
me.
we
Okay.
would have to,
Let me try. Fine. Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
yeah.
So let me try something else. So let's define rationality. So let's define that a rational actor is someone who prefers more of a good over less of that good. That's the definition of rationality. Then do you agree?
Wait,
That's the definition. Let's define it as the
no,
as
I'm trying to follow what you're saying.
okay.
Repeat that again.
A rational actor prefers more of a good over less of that good. For example, pizza.
More of a good over less of that
Yeah,
good.
let's say pizza. So let's say I'm a rational actor because I appreciate pizza as a good, and therefore I appreciate more of a pizza over less of a pizza. Meaning, if you offer me, do you want one slice or two slices? Well, since I appreciate pizza, I will always choose two slices over one, everything else remaining the same. So let's define that as rationality. That's
Okay.
that's
That's a Yeah, I mean,
mhm.
not all humans are like that, right? If you offer me 1,000 slices of pizza, I'll be like, oh no, I can't eat that. Or if I'm full, right, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want any pizza. You
Right,
offer me one, two, three, four, however many slices. Yeah, just
right. But then
so.
you don't have to eat it right now. You can freeze it. You can eat it later. Like I can get a coupon. I'll give you a coupon. Do you want a coupon for one slice or two? All else remaining the same. You can always use the coupon. It never expires.
Well, it's assuming a few things. It's assuming people like pizza,
No,
right?
yeah, that's the given. Given that I
Okay,
appreciate pizza as a good. I love pizza. Let's
yeah.
assume
So then,
everyone.
if people have other concerns, right, like about their health, and they may only want one
You can
slice of
sell
pizza,
you can
not
sell
two.
the coupon, you can trade it for other goods.
Yeah. So, yeah, people would then, if it's worth money or something, right? Or if it's a form of money,
Yeah, you can
then
trade it
yeah,
for.
people could sell it.
So you
Yeah,
agree that
everyone would choose more money than less money, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. So
Yeah.
under this definition, you agree that all humans and even all creatures in the universe are rational. There's no exception under this definition.
Mm, well, I mean, I guess unless they have some predisposition to be like religiously against money, right, or certain
But
goods.
right, that would be irrational. So are you saying
Yeah, there's people like that exist, right? There's people that are like against money or like, primitivists, anarcho-primitivists. There's people that live in the woods or just people that religiously have ideas against the use of money at all or any exchange system based on currency. Like all those things exist. So
mhm.
there's Amish people that like may not eat pizza. I don't know. All
Oh,
kinds of
you
examples, right?
no, we solved the eating with the coupon and the trading. But you're saying that
Right. But yeah,
you're saying that some people don't they because of religious
don't
reasons,
use money
like they because of
for
a religion.
cultural reasons. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, but in general, you agree that like a, but you would say that they're irrational, right?
No, no, I wouldn't say they're irrational.
No, hold on. No, no, we don't need that
Oh,
because
by your definition, yeah, they would be irrational by that
we
definition,
don't
I
even
guess.
we don't even need that because all we need to say is they appreciate more of a good over less of a good. So even the people who are religious Okay.
Do you mean all goods or just goods that they enjoy, or what do you mean?
They appreciate it as a good. So a person that appreciates pizza as a good, if you offer him
Would
more,
realize that you can also have too much of it, right?
okay, but then right, so if a person prefers less of a good over more of a good, you would agree that they're being irrational. What, like
By
you,
your definition, yeah.
yeah, because you would say you would try to understand them and you probably wouldn't be able to. You would be like,
No,
there's
I could
no,
probably understand them, but I was just saying based on your definition, because you defined it as
but
someone who prefers more of a good rather than less of a good as being a rational actor.
but you
So
you
by
would,
that definition, they'd be less rational.
like, if you meet one of those, you would have, I would have a hard time. I mean, I would have an endless conversation with them. Like there's no downside to taking two coupons over one. There's no downside. You can always trade it. So why would you not do that? Like, I don't understand. And I would say that's irrational.
Oh, yeah. I'd say there's other reasons, right? So
No,
if
but then
someone, for example, okay,
no, but the question is, I'm trying to. This is called the rationality assumption. So I'm assuming that everyone is rational. Like when I analyze the world, I'm making an assumption that everyone is rational. It's not just me. I mean,
is
this
this
is
an Austrian econ thing?
no, this is actually the standard econ. This is like intro to econ. This is literally the first day of intro to microeconomics. It's preference theory,
Mm, uh,
choice,
that's not. This isn't preference theory. Preference theory is all about people, um, like marginal utility. Why someone would exchange one good for another because they prefer that good over the good that they're exchanging
Yeah,
for. So
but first, like when you study intro to econ, so first you need to assume rationality. If you don't assume rationality, then you cannot have econ. Any, like, if you open
that's not true.
um like if you okay, I mean, go on, I'm listening. What do you mean it's not true?
Yeah, I mean this would be from some, like, what it sounds like is Austrian economics, right? There's all kinds of branches of economics that study
Wait,
and
what do you
really
mean?
interdisciplinary now, right? That study
But what do you,
uh, the
I don't,
types of decisions that humans make
I
that
don't know.
aren't based on rationality.
Okay, so what do you said it's not true. You don't need to assume rationality in order
No,
to analyze the economy. So
no, not at all. That
okay,
would actually make your economic analysis bad. Like, for example, if you wanted to see what humans actually did um, when particular economic policies are put forth, rather than what you think humans should do rationally, right? You would more often than not get two different answers. I can give examples of that too, if you'd like.
no. Um, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like for example, there's a common perception that you know lower interest rates increase the likelihood for
No,
business
no,
investment,
here.
right?
No, I
But
forgot.
there,
No, no. What
okay,
what I wanted to say, I forgot what I wanted. So what I
okay.
wanted to say is that the science of economics depends on the rationality assumption. So the entire science of economics depends on microeconomics, and microeconomics depends on the rationality assumption. You cannot build economics without the rationality assumption.
The just not true, but I mean, people do it all the time. So they make measurements of the economy and they do economic analysis
That's
based on the kinds of decisions that humans make,
but that's
right?
look, intro to microeconomics. Basically, there's no is purely mathematical. There's like, I guess maybe econometrics. That's where you actually take in data. But in
Yeah.
intro to micro, that's like the first course. That's pure math and logic. There's no data. It doesn't depend on data. It depends on, assumptions. It's like math. It is math.
Okay, but you're talking about the whole field of economics, right? But it's what it sounds like instead, you're talking about things like marginal utility. Okay, that's what it sounds like you're trying to reference.
No,
And
I'm
in
not.
those, okay,
No, that's like, that's after you assume rationality. You cannot get anywhere without the rationality, right? Because if you don't assume rationality, then people, if you're saying people are irrational, then there's nothing you can say about their behavior. Like, it's completely sporadic, so there's nothing you can say about it. Like, they're totally random. So you're saying humans are completely random. That's you cannot.
no, there's other factors apart from rationality, right?
Like what?
Like humans are emotional, social beings,
Right. So
right?
yeah,
They
I
have
mean,
lots of different factors.
but if
Yeah.
but if humans are not if humans are not mathematically predictable, then you can't build. There's no. You can't build a theoretical framework. You cannot build a science or a mathematical branch of economics if you can't make a mathematical assumption. Like, like when you have like a math problem, assuming a train leaves the station at 9 a.m., blah blah blah. So you make a bunch of assumptions. Without these assumptions, you don't have you can't do anything. So
Yeah.
you need
I would
to.
say on a macro level, you don't make assumptions, right? There's just you study how the actual system works, right? Like in the United States, we would look at how the monetary system works
you
and why people purchase things, right? And what you can do to cause people to purchase things.
you don't have to.
And how that can be,
You don't have to. If
yeah,
you
you
just
do. You do.
you no you don't have to. So, like, I've done it. You don't have to. I can reproduce it. I mean, you can take the entire course of intro to micro and intro to macro. That's already studying exactly the entire economy and the financial system and government, and still you don't need any.
Right.
And you don't need any data. It's all based on that one first principle of the rationality assumption. I mean, you add a little bit of assumptions here and there, but basically using the rationality assumption, you can build a simulator of the world economy just
Okay, could you give me an example of a statement that you could make just about human economic behavior based on the rationality assumption?
I mean, it's going to be, I'm going to have to dust my brain off to remember, but I mean, for example, the fact that you have a supply and demand curves, right? So supply, let's think of it, does it go up or down, right? As the price rises of the good that you're selling, you have an incentive to produce more, right? Is that how it works? And buy less.
If you're saying you have an incentive to produce more and buy less if you have more demand, is that what you're saying?
No, no, no. I'm saying I'm separating. So there's, right, two curves.
Okay.
There's a supply curve and there's a demand curve. So, for example,
Right.
let's talk about the demand curve. So the demand curve, as price goes up, demand goes down. As price per unit goes up, the demand, the total demand goes down, or an individual's demand even goes down, right? So that right, that assumes rationality. Why? I mean, if humans are completely sporadic, then why would you say that? Humans are completely nilly-willy creatures, then why would you assume any pattern, right? In order to assume,
Yeah, at any moment in time, there's a finite amount of money, right? So you would have a finite amount of demand and a finite amount of supply for available resources. So
no, no, no,
um,
no, no,
that
no, no, no,
you couldn't have an increase.
no,
Well,
no, 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 no.
yeah, okay,
No, you don't need that. So it doesn't matter what.
you do, because this only works on the aggregate scale. On the
No,
micro scale,
no,
this may not be true.
no, no.
Yes.
Wait.
Okay.
Okay. Look. Okay, you're saying yes. I'm saying no. I like. Let me complete the sentence. So like, there's no need to even mention money. It's like the price doesn't need to be money. Whatever the price is, the price is
I mean, how are we going to talk about economics without money, right? So,
whatever.
and we're talking about supply and demand curves, and
Whatever.
we're trying to relate this to the real world. We'd have to
Right.
talk about money.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to talk about money. You can talk about whatever the price is. Let's say the price is I'll work. I'll work for that. Right? You can work for it. You can trade for it. It doesn't have so. This right. So I don't have to talk about the finite amount of money. Like let's talk about. I'll somehow repay without money. It doesn't matter. I don't want to get bogged down to money right now. Somebody's echoing. I think it's no expectations. You're echoing. You're hot
Yeah,
miking.
echo.
You're hot
Okay,
miking.
okay, okay.
You know.
Let me just
Okay. So I don't want to obfuscate or convolute the discussion with the amount of money and stuff. So just the very right, and it's nothing to do with aggregate. It's true for an individual, and it is true.
It's not.
Wait. So okay, let's take a human.
The demand on an individual level, it does not necessarily follow that a particular individual is less likely to buy something because it's gone up in price. That is not right. So I can give clear examples of this. If we look at
No, but you
hold on,
agree. I mean, you agree that if we don't assume rationality, right? If we assume that a person is nilly-willy, it's completely unpredictable, completely random, then, right, as the price goes down, right, there's no reason to assume that the human is going to react in any way. The human is nilly-willy. Like price, you wouldn't say that price is any that price serves as any incentive. So according to you, the entire price theory is destroyed, right? So you see right away that price theory goes out the window without the rationality assumption.
what happens if toilet paper costs $20 a roll? Do people, right? Let's say toilet paper is the only thing that exists to use to go to the bathroom, and it's $20 a roll. Do people stop buying toilet paper?
I'm not
No, they continue to buy it. The point is, just because you increase the price doesn't decrease the demand, right?
No, but you agree that
Necessarily.
as the price goes up, the person is going to think twice, right? Do I really need? I could reuse socks. I could just use my finger and then wash
I could reuse socks.
Think about it. You see, a new industry. I mean,
no, I don't think anyone's reusing socks, but
I mean, if the price of like, let's say the price is really high, it's like $100 per square. So you're gonna be like, oh, I'd rather wash my use my bare hands and wash them with soap, or even just take a shower every time you take you go to the bathroom. Just run, take a shower with soap and like that. You'd rather do that than pay $100 for one square of toilet paper, right? Or $1,000 or $1
So
million.
I mean, we could look during COVID-19, right, where we had a steady
But you don't have to,
we
right?
had a
If
steady
you agree,
price level.
but you
Okay.
agree, you agree that price is an incentive, obviously, right? I mean, a rational, right? So that means humans are rational.
People being able to afford things
No, no,
is,
no,
a big
no,
thing.
nothing to do
So
with that.
people can afford.
No, we didn't say no, no, no. Look, you're obfuscating, you're convoluting the discussion.
I'm not. If you talk about supply and demand curves, you know what's there? It's not just prices, right? You would also look at things that can cause supply shortages, right? Increases in demand.
You're complicating the
There's demand
discussion.
shocks, supply shock.
Why are you
We're not.
Yeah, what
It's
do you
not
mean you're
even
not?
complicated. The
You,
point
I'm saying
you said the only fact. My
the
point is the
very,
only factor is not just
the,
prices increasing, right?
the very fact that you can predict the demand curve, that as price goes up, a rational person buys less of the good and would, and and somehow survives without that good because to save the
It's
money.
not necessarily true.
Okay, then exactly, then you're denying the entire science of economics. That's all I said.
No,
Without,
I'm not. What I'm
then
telling
you
you
just
is
lost.
that economics
But
tells us this is not always
but
true.
you just lost the supply and demand curves. You asked me to show you.
No, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, the supply and demand curves tell us that just because prices
Can
go
No,
up
but how do you
does not.
derive? No, no. How do you derive the supply and demand curves? Right. Without rationality, you cannot derive them. You don't have any theory on which to base them. You need the rationality assumption to derive mathematically the supply and demand curves. Meaning, right? You asked me for an example. I told you you would lose all of economics if you don't make the rationality assumption.
I know, but this isn't true. You kept saying it, but
What's not
I'm
true?
saying that's not true.
Supply demand curves are not true?
No, you keep
Okay.
saying that you
What
lose all of economics and supply and demand if you don't assume
wait,
rationality. I'm telling you that's not
so
true.
how okay, then
You
please
don't have to assume
then
rationality.
please
That's what I'm trying to explain.
fine, then please derive the demand curve. That right? Or you if you don't if you don't derive the demand curve, then that's it. You lose it. You don't have it. And this right? The same will go for all of
I've been trying to
economics.
explain it to you, right? There's other factors that contribute to demand.
Go
And if
ahead.
you look at the demand curve, it's not simply
Go ahead.
if prices go up, right?
Go
For
ahead.
example, an example of a demand shock, right? So
No.
that could be if we have
Wait, do you
what?
agree? Wait, hold on. So what?
Why did you ask me to derive it and then you just tell me to stop talking as
You're
I
not
begin to
deriving
speak?
it. I asked you derive the demand curve, that as the price goes up, the amount purchased goes down. And you're saying, and then you're talking about a shock. I didn't ask you to talk about a shock. I asked you, please derive the demand curve. So go ahead without
Yeah.
assuming
Okay.
rational behavior. I'm listening.
Okay. So you have a total quantity of goods in terms of supply, right? Okay. If you have an
Regardless of
increase,
supply, we're talking about the demand curve right now. Let's just talk about
okay,
the
what is the
demand.
demand? What's on
It
the
says,
x-axis of the demand curve?
I don't remember, but it's as the
So it's
price
quantity. Yes.
goes
So
up, the total purchased goes down. As the price
okay.
goes up,
So
let's say it
yeah.
starts at it's like y equals negative x, let's say, or y equals negative mx plus b. So it's a negative slope. So as
Yeah.
the price goes up, the quantity purchase goes down. So go ahead, derive it with
Okay.
assuming.
So when you have if you have an inelastic demand curve
Oh my
versus an
god.
elastic demand curve, dude,
No, just
you keep saying, "Oh my
derive.
god,
No,
this is."
just derive the demand
Oh my
curve.
gosh.
Just derive it. What are you doing?
I'm
No,
explaining it to you
no,
right now.
derive it. No, you don't have it. You need to derive it from first principles. You don't have it. You need to derive
Oh
it.
my gosh.
What? Oh my
This is
gosh.
ridiculous.
I'm
We're
sorry.
clearly not going to be able to have a conversation. Um
That's fine.
Yeah, we're clearly not going to be able to have a conversation now. Um,
It's
we're kind of off base here, anyways. But yeah, just to circle everything back, the
Are you
whole
black?
discussion about what?
Are you black?
I'm black, yeah. But I said to circle everything back, right, to
Oh,
the
you're a
original point.
narco. Well, no. I'm looking at your card. You're a narco-capitalist, male, United States Zoomer, pro-choice.
No, not anarcho-capitalist, not
Oh,
anarcho-capitalist. No.
communist, anarcho-communist.
um,
Registered Negro. Learn more about Discord safety policy. What is a registered Negro?
well, that's me. That's me. My registration card and everything.
What does that mean? Is that real or is that fake?
Yeah, Discord just gave it to me. I had to register. Everyone on Discord who's a registered Negro gets it.
What is that? How do you get it?
Just from being a Negro.
How do you become a Negro? I mean, how do you
Uh,
like what? How do you what you send them a picture?
you just you gotta be born with it. I don't know.
How do they know you're born with it? Like, how do they verify you as a Negro?
Just genetics.
How do they verify? How
You
does
ever do like a 23andMe?
No, I think you're joking, right? This is not real.
You got me.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. Anyway, okay, so it makes sense. So you're a registered commie. That's why. That's good. So we can have good debates. This is good stuff. Wait, why did you leave? Jesus. Mm, what was his name? Okay, I think we're good. I think we beat some dead horses. All right, I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys later. Later. Let me leave this. We're cool. Thank you everyone for joining. Maybe we should so there was a lot of communism. A lot of communism. Uh choice theory. Price theory. Uh demand curve. Rationality. So we don't need this. Okay, we're good. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.